aren't wired to the wall anymore. We carry them in our pockets. Cars can even drive themselves, right? Technology advances have changed our lives.
That's football legend Emmitt Smith.
Some of the most fascinating advances are happening with the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. I'm talking about natural regenerative treatments for joint pain without surgery or harmful drugs.
Tens of thousands of patients have discovered these breakthroughs firsthand at QC Kinetics. With over 100 board-certified providers across the country, they're transforming the world of pain treatment using your body's own healing properties to help restore your aching joints.
Why would you keep going back to the old tired ways of treating chronic joint pain? Check out the latest advances at QC Kinetics. And here's an idea for you. You can call them on that smartphone right there in your pocket.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the stars of our show.
I am your host, Ryan Seacrest, and of course, my good friend, Vanna White.
The new era of Wheel of Fortune is about to begin.
Let's play Wheel of Fortune.
The wheel you love is almost here.
Yeah, baby.
With tons of cash and prizes.
Let's go ahead and celebrate for a second over there.
What a great show.
Let's do it again tomorrow.
Okay.
The new season of Wheel begins Monday, September 9th.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Live from the Ingalls Studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy is live in the Ingalls studio. We are heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat. Happy Kickoff Eve, my good friend.
Oh, I'm going to end this show. I said it right before we went on air. I have a gift. I have a gift for you, the listenership of this here program. I got a poem to read. I'm going to do it at the end of the show.
Oh, dear.
It's going to be a slew of our old friends. I'm very excited about it. I say I read through it 3 or 4 times, and it's good. Yeah. It's a good time.
Yeah. It is the night before kickoff.
All through the house.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away. We got the NFL season kicking off tomorrow. Thursday night football, the opener. Kansas City Chiefs, Baltimore Ravens. Today on the program, tomorrow on the program, we will be answering the final questions of each and every NFL team. We'll do the AFC today, since we have 2 AFC teams kicking off tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
We'll focus on the NFC teams tomorrow. You got a question about any AFC teams, throw them into the YouTube chat. That is the way to get into the program, quickest and easiest. And we've got an announcement.
We do. We have a little bit of an announcement, and we're going to put 2 of these together because they're not directly affiliated with each other. But
wait, I feel like we should play I feel like we should play this.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
So we'll start with that one since you started it that way. The battle for the belt. We have told you that there will be a weekly prize, and there will. It's looking like that's going to be a $100 weekly cash prize. So if you win a week, basically you pay your entry and you made $50.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but that's not really the headline. And we will add to that if what I'm getting ready to say leads to a lot more people signing up, then the weekly goes up because we don't make money from this thing. The grand prize is now not just the custom title belt. Now there is a $1,000 cash prize, and we will explain to you how that happened in the coming weeks to the winner. To the winner.
So there you go. The stakes have been upped for the battle for the belt this year. Grand prize, $1,000 to the winner.
You asked us to brought it, and we brought it. Let's go.
Along with the championship belt.
Boom.
And yeah, you can get in now. We got all the links up on the social medias attached to the YouTube channel as well. Get in while you can. The earlier, you'll always be able to get in, but Jeremy has asked that everybody get in before Sunday, not try to cram it in right before kickoff. And
don't want to cram it in your cram hole, LaFleur. I really don't want to be riding back from Charlotte going, I got to get this person's email address in my phone.
So don't wait till the last minute. Go ahead and get in on the contest, the weekly, daily fantasy contest this year. Battle for the belt. Bigger, better than ever. I feel confident in saying that. Jeremy, the AFC teams. Biggest questions in the AFC. We're going to go through each and every division, each and every team over the next 3 hours of the program, determining who are the contenders and the pretenders. All the cliches coming into play here with the NFL season getting ready to kick off. We usually start with the AFC East. So should we do that, or should we switch it up a little bit?
Well, that's up to you.
Well,
I'm like a match.
I feel like we always start with the AFC East. So we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to go out to the left coast. Let's talk about the AFC West. We always save the best team for last, so I want to do the best team first this time.
Oh, good. You could tell me these things.
Kansas City Chiefs. Because what questions really exist about Kansas City this year? Are they going to be good? Are they going to be a contender? Is Patrick Mahomes going to be what he usually is? I think all of those questions, I feel like in my head, they all answer themselves.
I feel like the defense answers itself.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the coaching staff answers itself. I feel like the quarterback answers itself. At what point does it burn you that you don't have a true number one? That's the question. Hollywood Brown's supposed to be the de facto one. He ain't playing week one.
Right.
Which leaves you with Rashee Rice, old speed demon himself, Xavier Worthy, Justin Watson, Juju Smith-Schuster, Sky Moore, and Mecole Hardman.
But again, do you care? Are they in worse shape this year than they were when they had Juju 2 years ago?
My problem is not there's one thing that I feel like people leave out, and he was asked this question yesterday, and he very quickly rebuffed it. Travis Kelce ain't getting any younger.
Mm-hmm.
He's 35 years old, and he's the no doubt one. What happens if you take him away for any modicum of time? It changes everything.
Yeah, it does. Noah Gray is not Travis Kelce.
Look, my biggest drawback on Kansas City, in terms of, this is the dynasty of the NFL. That's not debatable.
Mm-hmm.
My problem with Kansas City is how many teams in the AFC have gotten better. Just honestly, look at the 16 teams. How many, and you can call Denver and New England because they needn't to be referenced here.
Right.
How many teams got better? That's the lion's share of your schedule. The Chiefs play a schedule that, in the words of the legendary Bobby Bowden, is just dadgum evil.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, that's going to catch up to you. New England didn't go to Super Bowls every year because it's hard to do. And I feel like we just undervalue that. Kansas City has become so consistent. They're so consistently good. They're always either in the Super Bowl or competitive for it. At some point, you're going to have that year. You're going to have that year where the things just don't come together. And I'll be 100% honest with you. The tackles make me nervous. You got a rookie on the left side who I liked, I believe, more than anybody in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And even I'm sitting here going, that's all you got? You didn't bring back Donovan Smith just as an insurance policy? We're going Wanya Morris, who was awful at times in the preseason, and Kingsley Suamataia. Kansas City now has a game plan to beat them. I never really felt like that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
because you're counting on a lot of young guys. This is what I always called a turn year. New England did this all the time. Think about the year after Richard Seymour left. You start looking around at some of the young guys, and, yeah, you had a lot of young guys. But somebody had to step up. And there were certain times that didn't happen. And with Kansas City, Pat Mahomes will make a 3 a 2. He'll make a 2 a back in 1. The problem is that I'm not sure you have a 2. I love Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
But is he one of the 30 best receivers in the NFL?
Yeah, probably not. I would think Hollywood would be closer.
To me, Rashee Rice is better than Hollywood Brown.
Is he?
It's not even close.
Okay.
Hollywood can't stay healthy. Hollywood can't do anything but run 9 routes. Hey, look how fast I am, and we'll pray to God I can catch it on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Is that dangerous with Pat Mahomes? Sure. Who's going to win consistently? Where is the receiver that it's 3rd and 7, and you go, that guy's going to win for me? Is it Juju? Is it Justin Watson?
I think it's always Travis Kelce, and then you hope that somebody else is the guy. And remember the struggles that they had on offense last year, where it was that's all it was. And then, what was it, the beginning of the season when they had all of their offensive struggles? And it kind of spread like wildfire, right? Travis Kelce started dropping balls. But then that didn't end up mattering down the stretch because it all worked itself out. They started to find Rashee Rice more often. He became, the wide receiver security blanket because the security blanket is always going to be Travis Kelce. I read an article yesterday that said, bold prediction, Kansas City will be better on offense this year than they were last year.
I think they will run the ball better.
And that's kind of where my mind went was give another year to Isaiah Pacheco and his development as a back. Because I think he is, knocking on that elite door. Would you agree with that? That yes. he is climbing his way up to that status. And that becomes even more frightening for people facing Kansas City. Because now it's just you're not just worried about Patrick Mahomes. You have to worry about Isaiah Pacheco and his abilities to hurt you as well. And so that opens up things for the young receivers. Right? Marquise Brown will be healthy at some point, hopefully. And hopefully he'll be able to maintain it. There's just so many weapons on this offense that I'm not sure that they can be better. Or can't be better.
In the YouTube chat, Notorious Big IG said, how will L'Jarius Sneed being gone affect the defense? That's literally it. I'm going to level with you. I don't worry about the corners in the least.
They're very
I think
good.
I'm where Chiefs Nation UK is with the corners, and he feels that way about the receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my problem. Who's the pass rusher that wins consistently? Outside of Chris Jones.
I was going to say that's the only one.
That's what worries me. It's not your – and I feel like if this doesn't go well, it's the corners that will get the blame. But it's going to be the fact that I'm not sure you can win consistently.
Mm-hmm.
You spent a high-level draft pick on George Karlaftis. You spent one on Felix Anudike Uzama. They're both situational pass rushers to me. I don't know that front mixed with those corners is going to work. I don't know. The defense is super talented.
Mm-hmm.
It's well coached. Steve Spagnuolo's been doing this for a long, long time.
Right.
That's why I'm more worried about the receivers. And maybe it's in tandem. You can say it really however you want to. If Kansas City gets into shootouts, let's say the corners are a bigger worry than I'm making it. Let's say the pass rush is a problem, like I just said. Now you're in shootouts with one receiver that I, honest to God, trust.
Mm-hmm.
Rashee Rice was really good. How many receivers have we seen in their second year after I got tape on them? They became way easier to cover until they blossomed into the receiver that they are.
Yeah.
Not every young guy is Jamar Chase, that they're just indefensible.
But you're always going to have a higher ceiling with Patrick Mahomes.
No doubt.
Back there.
No doubt.
So I don't see regression coming, and that should scare everybody.
I think natural regression has to happen at some point. And maybe that's where I'm at with Kansas City. is that I'm looking around going, the Houston Texans are exponentially better than they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cincinnati is better than they were last year. I think the Jets are better than they were last year. The Chargers are better than they were last year. It's a lot of pieces of your schedule.
No. Yeah.
And now, if you want to hammer down on the corners, I'm not worried about it against Baltimore. But then you look down the rest of that schedule, and you got Cincinnati, you got Atlanta. That's about it, actually, until you get to the Texans. San Francisco.
Yeah.
I do kind of worry about, with the Raiders, how you would deal with Jacoby and Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just get to who those teams are. Am I really worried about the Raiders? Am I really worried about the Falcons? No. What I'm worried about with Kansas City, let me boil it down to a you're going to make the playoffs. Can you answer all these little, well, it might be a problem questions by the time we get to January?
Yeah.
Because if you have 4 of those and you only answer 2 of them, you're going to have a problem, because there are several teams that they don't have that. Now, the question they do have is significantly bigger. That's why it was harder to come up with the one for Kansas City, for me.
Right.
But there are a lot of, it could be. Mm-hmm. And if all of that went wrong, then you might have a problem. But I don't really think you do.
No. When we come back from the break here in the Sportsocracy, we will continue answering the biggest questions about each and every team from the AFC. Again, focusing on the NFC. Tomorrow, we'll talk about the rest of the AFC West, and can anybody get close to dethroning the Chiefs in 2024?
Did you know you can now use your body's own healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get real lasting pain relief? I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. If you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder, this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. People here rave about the results. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain and without drugs or surgery or downtime. Under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. They've got tens of thousands of satisfied patients, and the consultation is totally free. So call now. Take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town, packaged fresh every day, and smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real, in the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. And we got another battle for the belt sign up?
Yep.
Well, there we go.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Battle for the belt sign-ups are open. Who's in now?
Curtis Davis, our resident Go Chargers Go fan.
Yeah.
$1,000 grand prize to the winner. And we will elaborate on that a little further. And when we do, you'll understand why. It ties into one of our dates on the Living the Dream tour.
Yep, it is up in the ante for the battle for the belt. Or up in the prize, I guess. The ante stays the same. We've not raised the price to get in.
No.
Right.
No, the ante stayed the same.
The ante stayed the same. Sorry, I used the wrong term there. Let's see here. We've got I also saw we've got a couple of super chats.
Yes.
That we need to get to. First one comes to us from Sir Jimothy. He says, "How about them Cowboys?"
No, you can't say it like that.
I can't do it.
How about them Cowboys? You got to do it like drunk Jimmy Johnson.
He says, "I'm going until Monday." He's not listening to anything that we have to say.
You're not listening to you trash my Cowboys. I got stuff to do.
He'll be back on Monday. Hopefully with a smile on his face.
Stuff to do. The one STD you can tell your friends about.
Right. And then
that's a shirt. If that's not a shirt, I did it wrong.
Red Sea weighs in with can $1,000 buy Florida a new head coach?
Well, bought him a new wide receiver about 5 times in the 90s. So
I think the price has gone up on that.
No doubt. No doubt. Bidenomics, the price is significantly higher.
Right. Shelling out $1,000 for a receiver is how you ended up in this situation.
Yeah, no doubt. But this is what we've always given. Well,
sorry.
Times are tough, bruh.
I was going to say Billy Napier moved to Florida and brought his Louisiana budget with him.
How about you throw 2 more zeros on the end of that and we can have us a talk.
We're answering the biggest questions for all of the NFL teams over the next 2 days here in the Sportsocracy leading up to the kickoff of the 2024 NFL season. AFC West, the challenger or the closest challenger to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West is, to me, definitively the Los Angeles Chargers.
Definitively?
Definitively. The Los Angeles definitively. You know how I feel about the other 2 teams in this division.
Well,
and while one is closer than the other to the Chargers, I think the Chargers are closer to the Chiefs.
Well, I mean, the Asheville Cougars are closer than that other horsey team.
We'll talk about them last in this little segment here. Does Jim Harbaugh make the defense better? That is my main question. Just by being there and bringing his scheme and coaching and knowledge, does he make this team better? Because I
think they have to be better than the 5th worst team in the NFL.
I would think so. They gave up like 250 yards a game last year in the passing game. And that was like 26th in the league. When you have studs on that team, like you do, Derwin James.
It was 232, and that was about 20th. They were about middle of the league.
232?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. No, where the problem came in, at least for me, with the Chargers, I feel like you have high-end talent.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily have the mid-tier. You don't have the depth. You don't have the – right now I look at the Chargers and go, you're Justin Herbert. I know I can count on that. What else can you do? And I just don't think this team's very good. By the way, you were right. It's 249. I was looking at their offense.
Yeah.
They were third worst in the NFL against the pass. They're like fifth worst against the run. The team's bad. I think Harbaugh helps.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that you're talking about a categoric difference in what this team will be and what they were. You want to know what my biggest fear with the Chargers is?
What's that?
Is that Jim Harbaugh's too much Jim Harbaugh. I'm afraid he's going to take this ball out of Justin Herbert's hands in a way that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get it. You added your 2 former Baltimore Raven running backs because you want to be just like your bro. You have a 300-pound fullback now because you want to be just like your bro. This is a different team. Justin Herbert's the best thing you have on this offense, and it's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm afraid early on they're going to try to lean into the run game, and it ain't going to be pretty. If you think Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins is winning games in the NFL, I got a bridge to sell you. They play the Raiders in week 1, the Panthers in week 2, the Steelers in week 3. I feel like I will know we will be at that second game. I feel like I will know practically everything I need to know about the LA Chargers in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
If you're 3-0, that's good time to roll. If you're 2-1, we're probably fine. Anything other than that, you're in trouble.
Right.
Because you don't have weapons. In terms of receivers on the outside, you're leaving a lot to be desired. It's I haven't said this in a while.
Go ahead.
It's Josh Palmer season, baby! I mean, as a one, that really requires the effort of, hey, you remember that thing I tried to tell you? He's good at football.
You said Ladd McConkey wrong, but it's
Ladd
okay.
McConkey's not the one. Ladd McConkey's a slot guy. I really have legitimate questions of who's going to play on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Is it DJ Chark? Are you going to try to do it again with Quentin Johnston? And I don't know the answer to that. I do find it funny that I feel like Jim Harbaugh probably walks into his office every day, sees Quentin Johnston, and just goes, I want to slap him right in the face. I want to slap him right in his face. I'm not going to, but I want to. Bad.
Well, and in a maybe a rotational role, right, as the third option on the outside, maybe that works. Rotating him and Chark in and out. You don't give Quentin as many opportunities to screw it up that way. So maybe that's the plan.
He will screw up probably 90% of the opportunities you give him. So just understand that.
I mean, we know they're going to come in and run the ball. I mean, this is what they do. Harbaugh and Roman, that's what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. And they built this team to do that. I mean, to do nothing but that. Because you took away the weapons. And I don't feel like you're going to be stretching the field all that much with the weapons that you do have.
The best games the Chargers had last year, Justin Herbert threw it 40 times or more.
Mm-hmm.
Period. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. I don't know that Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman can wrap their brains around that. I hated seeing Harbaugh bring Greg Roman in here. Because I've seen this. I've read this book. I know how this goes. And it ultimately leads to this gross ground and pound and Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins and
lots of play action and that's what you're going to get right off the rip. And I just don't know if that's going to be enough to even be in the ballpark of contending for this division. Because the next team after that,
and I'll go ahead and tell you, I did not agree with you that the Chargers were the 2. I handed it that. I danced around it. I don't agree with you. I think the Raiders are the 2, and I'm not sure it's close.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Chargers are currently closer to the Broncos than they are to the Raiders.
Jeez.
That team's not good. All right, what is it about the Chargers that's giving you all this hope? I mean, I'm being 100% honest here.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that makes you go, all right, I'm going to do the same thing I do to people with politics. Explain to me how you think this is going to work without saying Jim Harbaugh's name.
We take away the most important piece, and that's...
If your head coach is the most important part of your team, you suck. Name me a good team where the best thing you have is your coach. Oh, Bill Belichick. Yeah, did you notice how that went when Tom Brady went away?
Mm-hmm.
Andy Reid. You know, it's weird. He didn't start winning Super Bowls until he had Pat Mahomes. It's just weird how that happens time after time after time after time. If your coach is the best thing you do, you're bad.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Jimmy's and Joe's, not X's and O's. It's been this way in the NFL for a long time. And the Chargers don't have any.
Okay.
They have Justin Herbert and a bunch of dudes.
Mm-hmm. But at least they have a quarterback, right? The Vegas Raiders don't have that. You've got a wide receiver, and that's the only thing.
Jacoby Myers is one of the best number 2 receivers in the league. It drives me nuts when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's Devontae Adams and a bunch of dudes. Jacoby Myers will be the 2 on probably 28 teams in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Your team's not one of them, which is what I think skews you so much.
Maybe so.
I'll go ahead and tell you, he'd be the 2 on my team.
Right.
We're a Super Bowl contender. He'd be our team.
I mean, look, and you got Brock Bowers at tight end. I get it. But I have a question mark about quarterback, running back, your offensive line, and your secondary. I just – there's a lot of questions for me.
So what is the thing with the Chargers that you actually know is good? Do I know the defense is good? It was god-awful last year.
Sure.
I mean, legit god-awful.
I know they have good players.
They have a couple good players. You have Joey Bosa, who might be the most overrated player in this league, and Khalil Mack, who's 35 years old. Then what? Derwin James, who's hurt all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Name me a corner on this team not named Asante Samuel. I'll wait.
Yeah.
They just traded for a starter a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not good.
It's the same team, though.
What do you mean it's the same team?
I mean, do the same thing with the Raiders.
The Raiders have probably the best defensive line in the NFL.
Okay.
You never, ever seem to want to bring that up.
Oh, I understand
the secondary is a question mark.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's
a lot easier to do that when I got 3 legit pass rushers that can hit you at any time, and I don't have to send 5. I can send 4, play after play after play, and I'm going to win quite a bit. So, yeah, I'm worried less about the Raiders secondary than I am the Chargers.
Okay.
Receivers, it ain't close. It's not even close.
Sure.
I have 4 guys I would take over anybody you have because I would literally take Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, or Michael Mayer over anything the Chargers have.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not.
And then running back, okay, do you really think Gus Edwards is that much better than Zamir White? Because I don't.
No.
Okay, so you got all the same problems. All of them.
Except for the quarterback.
Except for a quarterback that's never won squat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's super talented. He's never won anything.
Right.
My quarterback almost took a far inferior team to the playoffs last year. I mean, when I say something wrong, you feel free to tell me.
No, yeah.
Aiden O'Connell took a bunch of dudes to one terrible play call away from making the playoffs as a division winner with Michael Pittman and Josh Downs. He has Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers and probably the best combination of tight ends in the league. It's the Raiders is not close. Now, could Jim Harbaugh be as good a coach as he's been in the past and lead this team to a better record than the Raiders? Sure. I don't know what Antonio Pierce is.
Right.
I've seen the popular player's choice backfire on a lot of teams. I get that you had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just, for me, that's where that is. I'm looking at this roster going, God, the Chargers are worse than I thought they were. It's Baltimore light, and that's going to take a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it is gross how many times I go, oh, yeah, there's the Scott Matlock. That's the Patrick Ricard of this team. You actually took 2 of their running backs. That receiver room looks exactly like what I've watched Baltimore do for 45 years.
Right.
You got 3 tight ends, one of which was a Baltimore Raven. I feel
Just gross.
It's because it is. It's gross. It's like all the retreads from the Baltimore Ravens that they didn't want anymore. Jim Harbaugh went, no, let me have them all. I need them all. And if I can't get them, I need somebody that looks just like them. I'm good.
He's good.
God, I don't think I realized how bad this was.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we'll spend 2 minutes talking about the worst team in the AFC West and continue answering all the biggest questions about the AFC teams here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Didn't have too much time earlier to talk about the weekend. It's going to be sunny and highs in the mid-70s, but the lows could be down into the 40s for everybody, so some cooler air coming in. Cooler than this air mass we've had early in the week. Partly sunny and 75 today. Tonight, still think upper 50s and more clouds and sun tomorrow, 80. Friday, mostly sunny, 80. Highs over the weekend, as I said, mid-70s with sunshine, overnight lows, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
If you're listening to this Gerber Life Guaranteed life insurance ad, there's a good chance that you're alive. And if you're not, well, this may not be of interest to you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Life insurance, I'm going to live forever. Death is what happens to other people. Well, for the sake of argument, let's assume you're wrong and that someday you won't be listening to the radio anymore. I know it's not easy to talk about, so I'll do the talking. If you're 50 plus and alive, or 50 to 75 in New York, you can apply for Gerber Life Guaranteed life insurance with guaranteed acceptance regardless of your health. And since this life insurance is guaranteed, you don't have to get a medical exam. In fact, you don't even have to fill out a health questionnaire. For a free quote, call 888-532-5016. Then, when you stop, if you stop listening to the radio, your family can use the insurance money to help cover your final expenses or anything else. Your kids already inherited your ears, allergies, and questionable singing voice. Don't make them inherit your final expense tab too. For a free personalized quote, call 888-532-5016 today.
Call Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning today and mention ESPN Asheville to get a free hallway cleaned with 3 rooms of carpet for only $129. Book online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
Cullowhee is the place to be for the Catamount Football home opener on Saturday, September 7th at 1 p.m. as nationally ranked WCU takes on Campbell at Bob Waters Field, E.J. Whitmire Stadium. It's White Out Whitmire as all fans are encouraged to wear white. The first 5,000 fans get a free White Out t-shirt. Advanced ticket sales start at just $16 for adults and $11 for kids. For tickets, visit catamountsports.com or call 800-34-GO-WCU. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets and iHeartMedia Asheville. Go Cats!
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your dinner. Though, we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
We're back at the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. The Florida Gators, they are not good at football. They are pretty bad at what they do.
That's the understatement of the year.
And and one of the people that is supposed to carry the water for this team the most just can't find a way to do it any longer. On the another duly noted podcast with Pat Dooley, UF ambassador, Florida legend, and former Old Ball coach Steve Spurrier was a guest on the program on Monday, and he was asked for his reaction to Saturday's game, and his response was, obviously, I am a UF ambassador, so I can't be critical. You can, I can't, or I shouldn't be. But obviously it was very disappointing watching the way that the whole team performed. I mean, all the way down the ladder. The only suggestion that I'm going to have is that Billy Napier and his guys, they need to do some things differently. And they can choose how to do it differently, but we can't just keep doing whatever we're doing. During the week, pre-games, blah, 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 just everything all the way down the line. His final words on it were, just do something.
So he recreated the meme of the stick figure with the stick going,
pretty much.
Just do something.
He said, whatever we're doing, that's up to the head ball coach over there, Billy Napier. Man, all I'm going to say, do something different. I don't care what it is. Do something different. Steve Spurrier is out on Billy Napier and the Florida Gators. Maybe they can get him to come back and coach.
Well, 5-11.
I mean, he
Not
is
too good.
he is Florida ambassador, so yeah, you could just slip him right into that role.
I can just see they catch up to Steve on the golf course like, well, offense sucked, defense sucked, special teams sucked, the whole thing bad. Just bad. Not Florida Gator football. Not the way it's supposed to go.
Sir. I just when your ambassadors can't even say anything nice about you, you got to start making some changes.
I was today years old when I found out we still did Dancing with the Stars.
I think we do this story every year.
I forget because I see the cast every year. I go, I don't think you understand what the word star means.
Have they outdone themselves this year?
Oh, yeah. So we've got 2 alumni of The Bachelor and Bachelorette. Joey Graziati. He was on The Bachelor. And Jen Train was just on The Bachelorette. We've also got a couple Olympians. The pommel horse guy. He's one of them. And Ayanna Mayer was on the rugby team.
Mm-hmm.
Chandler Kinney, who's from something called Pretty Little Liars.
Mm-hmm. That's one of them shows my wife watched.
Yeah. Did you see Inventing Anna, the Netflix show about the girl that basically lied about her whole existence and said she was some heiress and she was basically just a big con artist?
Yeah.
She's in it. The real one, not the girl that played her in the documentary.
Okay.
Then we got a few people from sports.
Okay.
Oh, we also have Eric Roberts because he's just in everything.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Yes, Julia's brother.
Yeah.
He's 207 years old.
I thought Batman broke his ankles. He couldn't dance anymore.
He did. Tori Spelling also in this. Tori Spelling, 60 years old. Her face, 6.
And her 14th time on Dancing with the Stars.
I believe so. Danny Amendola.
Yeah, let's go. He's the winner.
Dwight Howard. You tell your own joke there. Mm-hmm. I don't have to. The name that caught me was Reginald Vell Johnson. Carl Winslow is not a star. He hasn't been in anything in 40 years.
He is the central character and star of the greatest Christmas movie in Jeremy's history.
I agree with you. Unfortunately, that movie was made 35 years ago.
Yes.
This isn't Dancing with the Stars. This is Dancing with the, hey, they're still alive.
Why would you do that?
I don't get it. I don't. Who watches that?
I have no idea. It must be the old people. It's like the same people that watch that Golden Bachelor show. The one with the grannies.
Oh, yeah, that was gross.
Yeah.
I didn't watch a second of it. The fact that was on television repulsed me at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got 70. I mean, and I get it. You deserve love. I understand. I just don't watch it on television.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And you know what? If it's 70 years old, I'm looking for love, I'm going to have found it, and his name will be Johnny Walker. So just...
let's go to the final team in the AFC West. Answer the biggest question for the Denver Broncos. I mean, the biggest question is, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, the biggest question mark is, hey, and I know, is your coach actually any good? Because I'm not so sure. I once said Sean Payton was just Mike McCarthy with a better PR team. I think that's disrespectful to Mike McCarthy at this point.
It might be, because it hasn't gone well for him ever since you said that. This team's not good.
I haven't been wrong about the Broncos in 2 years.
No.
And there's a very specific reason as to why.
And it feels like they're just unloading at this point. The only thing that they're nailing down is Patrick Surtain, who they just signed to the richest NFL defensive back deal in history.
Yeah, the only thing they're nailing down is the for rent sign in front of all their houses when they get fired in a year.
Is there any pressure on Bo Nix to be good this year?
It depends on what you mean by pressure. I cannot wrap my brain around how a guy who I feel like would have to be in not a make or break year per se, but you got to show some form of improvement, right? I mean, am I wrong in this? Or no. I mean, it's only second year. You gave him $1 bajillion and you gave him practically total control.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that I think they would fire you, but you've got to show something. They were awful last year.
Yep.
They were unwatchably bad and just boring. And now I look at this team and go, are you actually better than you were a year ago? I mean, Bo Nix is probably better than Russell Wilson, but that's more of an indictment on Russ than it is a praise of Bo.
Mm-hmm.
The position guys look strikingly the same. The offensive line's fine. And then I get to the defense and go, holy good Lord. You're good. I mean, this is the same team gave up 70 points last year.
Yep.
You might do it again. And it wouldn't shock me in the least. Outside of Patrick Surtain, is there a player on that defense that you even know is good? I like Jaquan McMillan a lot.
I was going to say John Franklin Myers is decent as a
you
backup.
You mean the 7th defensive lineman for the Jets that they went?
Yeah.
We'll give you up for a 6th-round pick. I hate that they did it.
Zach Allen's good. He could probably be a starter for most teams, wouldn't you think?
He's fine. I mean,
I'm just stretching here, Ryan. I'm stretching. I'm trying to figure out where it is.
And I guess that's my point. Is
right.
If that's your first answer to this question, you're really telling me everything I need to know.
Absolutely.
What is success for the Denver Broncos? You walk out of this season feeling good if what happens?
I was going to say if we win 3 games and Bo Nix looks half competent. Maybe.
Man, you set that bar just – you set that
is it too low?
Low.
Is it too low?
Oh, God, yeah. If they go 3-14, we're going to have serious talks about Sean Payton has to be fired, right?
I mean, because I just don't see any way that it's much better than that.
I don't either. That's not the question I asked you. I didn't say be realistic. I said, what are you going to walk away happy with? There's a big difference there.
Oh, what am I?
This season's a success if blank.
5 wins and Bo Nix is healthy.
Healthy, not competent. Man,
no.
You raised one side of the bar and lowered the other.
Right.
And guess what? We wound up in the exact same spot.
Right. We wind up at the same spot of this team sucks, and I don't know what you have.
I can't find a game they're supposed to win. Like you play, you get one with Carolina at home. Other than that, I genuinely think you will be a touchdown plus favorite, touchdown plus dog in every game you play.
Mm-hmm. You just don't have anybody to compete.
And you've got this is why I'm so I try to tell NFL teams, be so careful with rookies, because now Bo Nix has played in the preseason. And if I have one more person go, but look how good he was in the preseason. Yeah, against the new starting staff of Lowe's Home Improvement, Denver, Colorado, store 3701. Awesome. He could terrorize a rec league.
Yeah.
Those ain't NFL players. He hasn't seen an NFL player yet. I watched him with my own 2 eyes against high-level college players and couldn't figure out how anybody would take him in the top 100. You took him at 12. This just has recipe for Is there a more listless team in the NFL right now than the Denver Broncos?
No.
New York Giants.
Well, that's a good contender.
Even with the Giants, I look at it and go, Malik Neighbors. I have one shining example. And a world of possibilities at quarterback next year because I know Daniel Jones has 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on a banana.
Because here's the thing the Giants have over the Broncos. If the Giants end up as the worst team in the league, they could be neck and neck for that. Yeah, along with the New England Patriots. You end up with the number 1 pick next year, what happens? I mean, I guess the best case scenario would be Denver ends up being the worst team in the league. They get the number 1 pick, and then they can shop it to the Giants to get up there and get a quarterback, and maybe you can recoup some draft capital that way and still be able to get a player there inside the top 5, but also get future capital for that number 1 pick. That's your best case scenario. The Giants, if they end up as the number 1 pick, I just take my quarterback and I'm done. The Denver Broncos, they do have an issue here. I've said it wouldn't matter if they end up with the number 1 pick. They're taking a quarterback.
I will,
especially if Bo Nix doesn't look good.
Matthew Hoffman set the Denver Broncos bar lower than yours.
Oh, did he really?
Successful season is 5 games and Bo Nix doesn't die. That's, I mean, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't hear a lie there. Hit the Vinnie Mac button or the Shane O'Mac button.
All right.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Soaring Eagle with a gigantic super chat, and he has set the bar for super chats this week. So welcome to Battle for the Belt. I'm just going to enter you in that because you've more than
paid your freight.
You know what? And it all comes. We can move the money. It's fine. Yeah. He said, "You fire Sean. You're telling candidates that they will be thrust into a Guantanamo Bay bad situation with an unproven quarterback, the larger of Russ's $85 million dead cap hit to be taken, and they have absolutely zero job security whatsoever. Why would I take that job?"
Good point.
There's not one lie in that. He's absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
He's absolutely right.
How do you sell it to anybody else?
You can't. You can't.
And maybe that's the genius. Maybe that's the genius of Sean Payton here. Is he went, I can tear this down to the studs, and nobody will want this job.
Oh, wait, you're saying he did that? Can't fire me if nobody will take my job.
Exactly. If I make this an absolute unmitigated disaster, they'll have no other choice but to keep me around and let me build it the way I want to.
Can't fire me if you can't replace me.
This may have been the plan from the start.
I don't. That's the bad thing. Where I look at Denver and go, this is, if I was Soaring Eagle or Denver Donkeys or one of these guys that's a Bronco fan, Chris Wiley, that's a great listener on radio of the show. If I pulled for the Denver Broncos, it would drive me absolutely bonkers. I can't figure out what your goal is here. Are we going to be a passing team because you took Baker Mayfield's illegitimate little brother, and that's what he is? That's his high side is Baker Mayfield. Way too high. Are we going to be a running team because you just seem to be adding different versions of running back that are they're just dudes? Like Javonte Williams after the knee injury, he's just a dude. There's nothing special about him whatsoever. And then you've given them no weapons to work with. I mean, Marvin Mims is the only weapon they have drafted. What are you doing? And Greg Dulcich was the year before he inherited him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but we drafted Troy Franklin. Oh, you mean the guy that nobody wanted? Because he's a height, weight, speed monster, and he's not much else? That's the report from scouts, not from me. I kind of liked him. I don't understand what the plan is. And you're digging out from Russell Wilson and the devastation that was that deal. I get it. But I don't see a cognitive plan here. I just see 53 dudes that are a mismatch, all wearing orange and blue. That's all I got.
It's kind of like they're just making it up as they go along.
I can't tell you you're wrong.
Mm-hmm. Much like the Atlanta Falcons. Like just when you said that's what popped into my mind of Kirk Cousins. Oh, Michael Penix Jr. We're just making stuff up as we go along. We'll talk more about the Atlanta Falcons tomorrow when we get into answering all the questions for the NFC teams. Focusing on the AFC teams today here in the Sportsocracy. If you're just joining us, big announcement at the top of the program. The Battle for the Belt Grand Prize has just gotten bigger. $1,000 in cash to the grand prize winner at the end of the season. So get in now. We've got the links to get in on the contest. Of course, it all begins this week, this Sunday, with the slate of games. Daily fantasy football battle for the belt. It's bigger and better than ever.
This will be the biggest year of the contest. You can jump in at any time. You could literally jump in week 12, potentially. Now, you have to really bet on yourself. You could jump in week 12 for $5 U.S. dollars, get into the playoffs, get hot, and win $1,000 U.S. cash for the low price of $5. Yeah, or you play with us all year for $50, and then you get 4 weeks for free.
Absolutely. And you're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We will continue answering the biggest questions about the AFC up next.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
People are talking about Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt. Just check out some of their Google reviews. One user writes, I'd been avoiding visiting the dentist for years due to poor experiences in the past. I had quite a few visits and procedures at Summit in the last year, and each and every one was made comfortable by the staff that work there. They're all kind and compassionate and take extra time to make sure your comfort level is right where it should be. Summit Dental in Asheville. Call them today, 828-277-6868 or online at AshevilleSummitDental.com.
Football season is here, and at Haywood Regional Medical Center, we know it's not just the players who need to stay in top shape. Whether you're an athlete pushing for the win or a fan enjoying the action, our orthopedic team is here to keep you in the game. This season, let Haywood Regional Medical Center meet your orthopedic needs. From tears and strains to sprains and breaks, we use today's therapeutic technology to keep you moving. Visit myhaywoodregional.com to learn more. Haywood Regional Medical Center, sports medicine and orthopedics to help you live your healthiest life.
All across the Tar Heel State, this is Carolina football.
And he fumbles the football. He's hit and loses it, and the Tar Heels have it.
This is the home of Carolina football.
The foot race, 30, 20, bye-bye, one play, touchdown, Carolina.
Catch live coverage of the Tar Heels all season long, right here on your home for Carolina football.
Asheville's home for the Tar Heels is ESPN Asheville.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at ParksFordHendersonville.com. That's ParksFordHendersonville.com.
At Ingalls Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can of kick-ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Didn't have too much time earlier to talk about the weekend. It's going to be sunny and highs in the mid-70s, but the lows could be down into the 40s for everybody, so some cooler air coming in. Cooler than this air mass we've had early in the week. Partly sunny and 75 today. Tonight, still think upper 50s and more clouds and sun tomorrow, 80. Friday, mostly sunny, 80. Highs over the weekend, as I said, mid-70s with sunshine. Overnight lows, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Dan Scott here, inviting you to check out my new show every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. here on ESPN Asheville, where we bring sports and faith together. The Dan Scott Show, 8 a.m. Sundays on ESPN Asheville.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Pro Football Hall of Famer and three-time champion. Trust me, I know about joint pain.
Pro Football's all-time leading rusher Emmitt Smith talks about chronic joint pain and exciting new regenerative treatments from QC Kinetics.
I know what it's like to fight through pain, but now, you and I, we have help. QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced, all-natural regenerative medicine that can give you lasting relief with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Do you suffer with constant pain from arthritis or injury? Pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or lower back? Don't assume steroids, pain meds, and surgery are your only options. Regenerative, restorative, natural solutions are now available.
Don't let your joint pain keep you from doing the things you love.
Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation and learn how regenerative medicine can repair and restore damaged joint tissue.
Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now your chance at $1,000 and a trip to our iHeartRadio Music Festival. Text the nationwide keyword Vegas to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's Vegas to 200-200.
Live from the Ingalls Studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog eat! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, and welcome back into the Sportsocracy. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. We're seen everywhere on the YouTubes. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link. Subscribe to the channel. Join us in the chat. It is the eve of the kickoff of the NFL season. We've finally made it. No longer do we just have to, look forward to going home and, playing with ourselves. Now we get to watch other people play. And that.
Themselves.
Yeah. And so we got that going for us.
You're a wordsmith, Pat. Has anybody ever told you that?
Yeah, my wife actually told me that last night.
At the end of the program, I will be reading a special poem for listenership of the show. It is the night before kickoff.
Right. And here on today's program, we are answering all of the remaining questions, the biggest questions about each and every team from the AFC. We'll focus on the NFC, going division by division on tomorrow's program. The battle for the belt. We've had big news today in the battle for the belt. The daily fantasy competition this year is getting bigger. Not only do we have a belt to give away to the champion of this year's grand prize contest, but the grand prize winner also $1,000 going to the winner.
$1,000 grand prize, a $50 entry. I mean, that's 20 extra money, people.
Yeah,
we're bettors around here, and we will bet on ourselves.
Indeed. So you want to get in on the battle for the belt? Then you can find the link on all of our social medias.
Sir Jimothy with a super chat with a question about Battle for the Belt that we will happily answer.
Okay.
Yeah!
He has to win the weekly drafts held. So it's DraftKings. There are no weekly drafts. You are under a $50,000 salary cap. You have to draft the best team humanly possible, the most points under $50,000. So the link goes out, and the contest is up. Tank and I have both seen it, so it's ready. I'm just waiting. I want to hit all invite at the same time because once the invites are sent out, I have to add you one by one.
Mm-hmm.
So it is ready. It is there, and it will be sent out before we leave for Charlotte this weekend for Tennessee and NC State.
Yes. All right, and we've got a big event coming up tomorrow.
Yes. I am very honored that this group reached out to me, and it's a charity event. It's Autism Strong. It was centered in Charlotte. They moved on. They're still in Charlotte, but then they opened up a branch in Raleigh-Durham, and now they've opened up a branch here. This is their launch event. It's tomorrow night. It's at Highland Brewing Company. Starts at 5, runs to 8. They'll have live band. I think it's $20 for tickets, 21 and up, and then it's free for anyone with special needs or anyone under 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Tank and I will be there. We're going to have a good old time, and we're going to raffle off a special prize. We're going to the ACC Championship in football in December, and we're going to auction off 2 seats to roll with us. So you'll be there with us for the tailgate. You'll be there with us for the game, and who knows, there might be shenanigans after the game because I am the crowned king of shenanigans.
Right. All right, so again, that is at Highland Brewing tomorrow, 5 to 8 p.m. You can go online to aimforautism.com to get more information about the launch for the Autism Strong Foundation. It is the Asheville branch launch party.
I did not know how many kids in our area dealt with this. I was on a conference call with these guys yesterday, and they told me a lot of statistics that I had genuinely no idea about, and it made me – I was all in to help with this anyway. After that, I was all inner, aller in.
Yeah.
Whatever not English word you want to put in front of the English word, that's what I was.
Yeah, you were,
and we plan on helping with these guys any way that we can. They're phenomenal people. One of the chairs of the board was a friend of mine since I was a little kid, and it's a very important cause, and we're very flattered and honored to be able to help in any way that we can.
Absolutely. So, again, Highland Brewery tomorrow, 5 to 8, the launch party, local beer, food, live music, and a silent auction, all for the launch of the Asheville Autism Strong Foundation.
And we will have the Parks Ford Mobile Studio with us if you would like to take a picture with it or with us or anything like that. We're like New England Patriot receivers in the mid 2000s. We're very slotty when it comes to charity.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's anything that leads to a donation of any way, don't think we'll say no because everything's got a price.
Yep. Answer the biggest questions for each and every team, focusing on the AFC today. Let's go AFC East. And
we starting with the favorite here?
Who is the favorite?
Jets, Jets. I am tired of your derision. I am tired of the way you talk about this team. We're the favorite, and you know it.
My one question,
Aaron Rodgers,
that I wrote down for the New York Jets,
because that ain't mine.
If the camera can see.
Well, you probably can't read your writing because that looks like a cry for help in a.
I have way better handwriting than you do.
You are out of your mind.
Can the Jets not it up? That's my only question. How are you going to ruin this? You have the all-timer defense, right? You have an all-timer quarterback. You should have pretty damn good weapons. And you've thrown everything you possibly can at that offensive line to make sure that what happened last year when you had to start 97 guys on the offensive line doesn't happen again. I don't know how else. I don't know what other question to ask.
You're asking the wrong question, though.
Okay.
It's Robert Saleh. That's the question. I, from the top down, do not have questions. I mean, look, you can – Jets going Jet. Okay, go pick the Lions and Texans to play in the Super Bowl and keep telling me that Jets going Jet crap because you do realize that they've been worth – whatever. You seem to that only works in certain places, but whatever. I have no doubts about Joe Douglas. I have no doubt really about the talent of this team. I have a lot of doubts about Robert Saleh. He scares me. Yep. He's not good with clock. The offense last year was very clunky because you didn't have Aaron Rodgers. And look, I don't think Nathaniel Hackett's a very good coordinator, but it's a lot different when you have Aaron Rodgers that's deciphering these things in live time than Zach Wilson. I think they have one of the best 1-2 combinations in the NFL at running back. The weapons are vastly improved. You have a legit one in Garrett Wilson. You have a legit two in Mike Williams. No player in the NFL has averaged more yards per catch over the last 4 years than Mike Williams. Malachi Corley, I could do this for a while. Yep. I really like your tight end, Tyler Conklin. You got the best secondary in the NFL. You just locked up Michael Carter II yesterday. There ain't a lot of questions about this team.
No.
I do worry about having a 41-year-old quarterback. I am very glad that you brought in a backup that is competent in Tyrod Taylor. I think all of you ask the wrong questions about this team. It doesn't really matter with me for Aaron Rodgers. Without Aaron Rodgers, they're not a Super Bowl contender. With him, they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're a playoff contender with Tyrod Taylor because the defense is that good. They run the ball really well. The offensive line is significantly deeper than it was. It all falls back on Robert Saleh. Are you a good coach or not? Because if you could name me the bad coach that has ever won a Super Bowl, I would love to hear it because I don't really have one of those. And I think he has done a good job of keeping this team together. He is very Johnny Rah-Rah. And he's very likable. I've met him a handful of times. He's a very, very nice guy. I understand why guys want to play for him. I'm just not sure with 2 minutes to go, I got Andy Reid on one sideline, I got Robert Saleh on the other. I'm not sure that you're not just at a significant disadvantage, and that's not really a shot at Rob. That's more there are elite coaches in this league, and I'm just not sure he's one. He's going to have to take that jump just the way that the Jets are. But in terms of roster, there are not many of you that I would listen to you say you would not trade your roster straight up for the Jets and not call you a complete basket case.
You're loaded with talent. And like I said, my only question is, how are you going to screw it up? What misfortune is going to befall this team that allows this not to happen? Because I felt it last year. Felt the same way about this team last year at this time that I do now. I don't know that my sanity would be able to live through another one of those if I was a Jets fan.
Gambit fan said, find you a woman who's as loyal as Jeremy is to the Jets. Well, I found one. She's a sweet woman. She's a patient woman.
And then the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
And the question that I have with them is, have you taken that governor off? Whatever there is at the end of the season that allows you to – it's all gas, big breaks. Like we speed into the opening of the season and then it just falls off a cliff.
For Miami, it was really simple for me. I took a song from a god-awful Green Day and I changed 2 words. They did a song, Wake Me Up When September Ends. Wake me up when December comes, because I don't really care what you do until then. When it gets chilly outside, that's when I'll actually figure out what you are. I know you can track meat, guys, when it's 80 degrees outside. I watched you in a game against Kansas City where I, honest to God, could have been convinced that you had just met each other. So, for me, nothing Miami does until the last probably month of the regular season, none of it matters. Put up your video game stats. Mike McDaniel's a really smart guy. He's really likable. Watch all the reels. Throw on your teal and orange, and that's all well and good. You can't tell me that you don't have a steady pit in your stomach when the temperature starts to drop.
And you really should, because when it comes down to the end of their schedule after Thanksgiving, they go to the Packers. Actually, I think that is Thanksgiving. They go to the Packers. They have the Jets, the Texans, the 49ers, at the Browns, at the Jets. That's the end of your schedule. 2 years ago, this team was 1-6 from November on, or after November. Last year, obviously, we saw how everything fell off the rails starting with that Baltimore game, and you scored 40 points in the last 3 games of the season.
The Miami Dolphins go to old PT on bad teams. They don't do that against good teams. If you're wondering, that would be Pound Town, if you're curious what that reference was. If you're a Miami fan, you do have to look at the schedule and go, how many of those do we have, though? Because I don't think the Buffalo Bills are terrible. I did, and then I've kind of lightened on that over the course of time. So you play them twice. You got the Jets twice. New England's not terrible. I don't think they're good, but they're not terrible. You play the Cardinals. That's like the next weakest team on your schedule. You don't have a lot of low-hanging fruit here. And you go up against some pretty talented secondaries. Tennessee Titans have one. Patriots have one. Jets obviously do. I think the Rams are vastly improved. Then the end of that schedule is just dadgum evil.
It's brutal. It's brutal for a team that can't hold their own when the temperature drops.
Would you be shocked if the Buffalo Bills finish second in this division? Because I won't.
Moderately.
The more I've thought about it, the more I won't.
Moderately. I will be moderately shocked. Because I think Miami's more talented than they are.
They certainly are.
But
all right, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you a question. So Miami's more talented than Buffalo.
Yes.
You'd be shocked if Buffalo finished with a better record than them.
I mean, like I said, moderately.
Why does that work for Miami? It doesn't work for the Jets. Because the Jets are more talented than the Dolphins.
Yes.
To me, that's not even debatable.
Yes.
And yet you have all these questions about the Jets, and you don't have these questions about the Dolphins. The Dolphins have done nothing to acquiesce that either. Well, you had what's going to happen to them this year with the Jets? Yeah. The Dolphins are the same team.
Sure they are.
Why do we not ever say that? We never hear Dolphins go to Dolphin. I've never heard any goober say that, not one time.
No.
You haven't won squat in 50 years.
I get it.
You're the same team as the Jets. You just have way more hubris for some reason.
Here's the thing. If I believed that they had a chance to win a Super Bowl, then I would be saying that. But I don't. I have zero faith that Miami's going to win anything. I don't know. I don't know that I believe that team could. You get into the playoffs. I don't know that speed style is going to win championships.
You know what this reminds me of? The Marty Schottenheimer San Diego Chargers. Of, man, you're good in the regular season.
Yes.
And then you get to the playoffs, and you just find ways to trip all over yourself.
Right.
And I feel the same way about Miami.
Yeah. I don't think they're a contender for the Lombardi. I really don't. And that's why I don't say that about them. I say that about the Jets because I think you are. I think you've got all the pieces in the perfect world with the right coaching and you hit the right stride. There's no doubt in my mind that team could win a Super Bowl. The Miami Dolphins would shock me if they were able to roll through the Jets and the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs and then whoever is going to be thrown up from the NFC. I just don't think you can do it.
Gambit fan has a really good question. He said, how many teams are more talented than Miami, though? I think when we did overall roster, I had Miami at like 8. It's not many.
No, it's not.
It's not many. Talent's not the problem. Because you said the Jets have all the pieces. I think the Dolphins do too. But for some reason, I look at that team and go, no shot. Absolutely no shot.
I still, and I have my doubts about their defense. I'm not sure
the
about.
Pass rush is
I'm not
really
sure
going
about
to struggle until they get Phillips and Chubb.
And that's where I'm at. Now, once those guys come back, if they're fully healthy and don't miss a beat, which hopefully they are, then we've got another discussion on our hands. But right now, I can't look at that team and feel confident that you're going to win the big one.
A lot of question marks. But another great time to shout out Dubs, Anthony Weaver. I think the defense is going to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
We hit your Shane O'Mac button.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Love that song.
Easy, Kamala. Bradley Presley, you are officially in battle for the belt.
That's a good one.
That was a good one. Every red person in this just went. That's pretty good.
You're in the Sportsocracy.
And somebody's going to come down the hall and go, "What did you just say?" You laughed. You laughed. If there's nobody in your car, you laughed.
This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Got chronic joint pain but want to avoid steroids and surgery? Take some advice from pro football legend Emmitt Smith. Call QC Kinetics.
Let QC Kinetics help you improve your quality of life with biologic therapies that get your body to repair and restore damaged tissue.
These exciting new regenerative treatments from local medical professionals can help your body heal itself with lasting pain relief.
Trust me, you want to avoid surgery if you can. Check out these biologic treatments to see what your options are.
QC Kinetics. Restorative, regenerative solutions with no downtime, no surgery, no drugs.
I'm talking about joint pain we all can relate to in your knees, your shoulders, your hips, and your lower back. They'll get you feeling good again.
Get relief now.
What are you waiting on? Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
September is National Recovery Month, and the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs is raising awareness of substance use resources for veterans.
I'm Dr. Joseph Liberto, National Mental Health Director, Substance Use Disorders at VA. We want veterans to know that any time is the right time to start recovery. From outpatient care and residential rehabilitation to evidence-based treatments and harm reduction services, veterans can receive world-class support at VA.
Visit www.va.gov/recovery.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town, packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real, in the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It is ESPN Asheville answering the biggest questions that remain for all of the NFL teams. AFC teams today, NFC teams coming up tomorrow. Kickoff is tomorrow night. Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. We're talking about the AFC East here. Miami, I have no faith. The Jets, I have faith. I just don't know what's coming. because it always seems to be something. The Buffalo Bills are the team that I look at and go, I know you have a hell of a quarterback. I have lots of questions about your
everything else.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much everything else I have a question about. Do you have enough firepower on the defense? Is the defense skewed young enough now? Is the offensive line going to be able to increase the usage of the running game with James Cook? And do you have a weapon that is better than what Khalil Shakir was last year?
Buffalo's another team that I feel like everybody's worrying about the wrong thing. All right, be really honest with yourself here. How much better is Kansas City's receiving core than Buffalo's? Fractionally?
Fraction, yeah. I mean,
but
I would say Rashee Rice and Khalil Shakir probably.
It's fine. That'll be fine. But with Buffalo, it's the end-all be-all. It's the end of the world.
Yes, because we don't believe that Josh Allen is that guy without a superstar. Because he got Stephon Diggs, and that was when he became the guy.
You do realize Stephon Diggs was absolutely awful by the end of last year, right? He was terrible.
Okay.
It genuinely looked like he didn't care at all.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and watch the last 6 games. There's no superstar there.
Okay.
I don't understand why that is what people are worried about. I also don't understand why people are worried about the linebacking core. I'm almost to the point where receivers matter about as much as running backs because there's so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
Keon Coleman, if you told me he ended this year as a top 30 guy, I wouldn't be shocked in the least. Not at all. If you told me Khalil Shakir wound up being a really good slot guy, wouldn't shock me at all. Who the third guy's going to be, I don't know, but I could ask that question about probably 16 other teams in the NFL. Oh, and by the way, you've got 2 legit tight ends, which very few teams do. James Cook's a really good receiver out of the backfield. I don't care about that. You know what I care about? Your secondary is terrible. Genuinely god-awful. It hurts my eyes to look at how bad this secondary is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at who they play. Start the season with Kyler Murray. Then you go Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence, Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud, Aaron Rodgers. That's your first 6 games. Then you get a little lull with Will Levis and Geno Smith. Then you go Tua, Anthony Richardson, Pat Mahomes. Brock Purdy, Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff, then 2 with New England. Probably Drake May by then.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Rodgers again.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of good veteran quarterbacks. And I don't know who you're going to put on their ones. Week 1, who lines up with Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Christian Benford.
I'm good. I'll pass. I just don't see an answer to who is going to consistently stop ones. I don't think your pass rush is good enough to mitigate this at that point, because who do you count on in the front 4? Is it Greg Rousseau?
And Von Miller.
You're counting on Von Miller.
I mean, you have to. You put yourself in this position.
I don't think you understood the question that I was asking. Who are you counting on that you actually trust? Because for me, it's certainly not Von Miller.
No.
A guy that last year in however many games he played had as many sacks as I did. I don't know what you have. I feel like it's a lot of kind of missed first-round picks, whether it was A.J. Epinesa, Gregory Rousseau, who hasn't quite been as good as I wanted him to be. He's good. I don't think he's a star. Do you?
No.
Ed Oliver, I don't think he's a star.
No. Solid player. He's fine.
And I guess that's where I get with practically the entire team. Your offensive line, it's fine. Your defensive line, it's fine. Your secondary's fine. That's way too many fines for me. You can hang your hat on Josh Allen. Everything else feels like a question mark. And against that schedule, after you won this division last year, take luck.
I just don't. I don't see it coming. And I don't think it's a good idea for the guy who already struggles with feeling like everything is on his back. His team just turned around and went, now it's all on your back. And I mean, he can put up great stats and he can make amazing plays, but he's probably also going to be the same Josh Allen that just turns the ball over so much, puts you in bad positions, and you're going to lose games because of it.
For me, there are only two paths to how this year ends. Buffalo misses the playoffs and Sean McDermott gets fired.
Mm-hmm.
They make the playoffs and Sean McDermott gets an extension with a significant pay raise. Because if you make the playoffs with this team, you deserve it. You're everything every Buffalo Bill fan's tried to tell me. I haven't seen you do it.
Yep.
And that leaves the other team in this division.
Which
should not take long.
The New England Patriots.
It's a blip year. Call it what it is. It's a blip year. This roster is not good enough. This has been a 3-year exodus of Bills players and Bills concepts and Gerard Mayo and this is not going to be a fun year for you. Do you agree with starting Jacoby Brissett?
No.
I didn't until I did Great North Sports with Armchair and Dubs, and they kind of convinced me. The offensive line is horrific. I mean, terrifyingly bad. Cole Strange is going to miss at least a period of time. Jake Andrews is on IR. You got the worst offensive line in the league. You might get Drake May killed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if that is the case, then okay, I'm all for not getting him hurt. My biggest question mark for this team is whether or not Drake May can be the guy. And it's not day one, and it's not week 6. It's not week 8. I don't want that. I mean, I would love to have that answered by then, but I need to know that he's on the path. And if throwing him out there behind a Swiss cheese offensive line is the only option that I have right now, then absolutely, let's go. Jacoby Brissett. He is my decoy.
What constitutes a good year for New England for you? Because I have a definitive answer to that.
What's your definitive answer?
The defense looks like it hasn't taken a step back, even though you went youth movement. You start answering, or you start ringing the bell of who are the guys that are going to step up here? Is Anthony Jennings? I mean, because look, you spent a lot of money to bring this defense back intact.
Mm-hmm.
Minus Matthew Judon, who looked pretty gassed by the end of last year. Is Keon White, Anthony Jennings, Josh Uche, Kyle Duggar, our guy, friend of the program, Dietrich Wise.
Mm-hmm.
Are those guys good enough defensively? That's a win for me. If I walk away from this year and that Patriot defense, don't look at stats. That's going to be misleading. The offense is not very good, and statistically the defense is not going to look very good. Watch the games. And if on the field you can see that these guys are holding up defensively, it's probably going to wear on as the game goes. But in the first, second, early third, after halftime, adjustments, things like that, does this defense still consistently win? If it does, you're in better shape than any of us think. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't hate their weapons. They just don't have one. You need a number one receiver, and you need to build up that offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think with Drake May, you're on to something.
Yeah. You asked me what would success be for this team. I would say you win at least 3 games and you lose 10 one-score games.
I don't care how many games they win.
If you can be competitive in games, I feel like that is a statement that we're going in the right direction.
I don't care if you get blown out 17 times. That means less than nothing to me. Do you have answers to questions going into next offseason? Can you answer the Drake May question? He's going to play at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when. Can you answer the weapons? Because right now, I look at Jalen Polk. He's the 2. Demario Douglas is the slot guy moving forward. You still need a legit 1, whose name is T. Higgins. Sorry, I'm probably going to do that a bunch of times over the course of this year. You're fine with Ramondre Stevenson. I know you're going to have to address the offensive line. You're going to have to address that number 1 target. But can you check off the box of the defense? You got to keep adding. I'm not saying you don't. But can you walk away with what you have invested in that defense and say, that defense is pretty good?
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Didn't have too much time earlier to talk about the weekend. It's going to be sunny and highs in the mid-70s, but the lows could be down into the 40s for everybody, so some cooler air coming in. Cooler than this air mass we've had early in the week. Partly sunny and 75 today. Tonight, still think upper 50s, and more clouds and sun tomorrow, 80. Friday, mostly sunny, 80. Highs over the weekend, as I said, mid-70s with sunshine, overnight lows, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Madame Giselle senses something big coming.
Is it a career change?
Everything looks wet.
I'm going to be a swim teacher.
There's a roof.
A swim teacher who also does roofing.
No, the roof of your RV has a leak and it's ruining the furniture.
Oh, that's okay. I'm covered by Progressive. But maybe I'm a swim teaching roofer who makes furniture.
Customize your coverage with Progressive's Roof Protection Plus and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Roof Protection Plus available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
Lowe's knows saving pros time and money means getting the job done easier. Right now, save 10% on Georgia Pacific vinyl siding panels. Plus, save an additional 20% when you buy in bulk. And get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Offer valid through 9/4. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do. So great ideas can happen right now. Bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to now.
Cullowhee is the place to be for the Catamount Football home opener on Saturday, September 7th at 1 p.m. as nationally ranked WCU takes on Campbell at Bob Waters Field, E.J. Whitmire Stadium. It's White Out Whitmire as all fans are encouraged to wear white. The first 5,000 fans get a free White Out t-shirt. Advanced ticket sales start at just $16 for adults and $11 for kids. For tickets, visit catamountsports.com or call 800-34-GO-WCU. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets and iHeartMedia Asheville. Go Cats!
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. A blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. It is time to get weird, and well, things do get weird under dictatorships. But I think this might be the weirdest example I've seen in a while of just, making things up as you go along. If you are, tuned in a little bit to the political world, you'll know that there's a little fight going on down in Venezuela about who actually is the leader of that country. Well, the president, Nicolas Maduro, is busy, hiding all of the results from the election, claiming that he won. He's also having, the opposition arrested. That was a new development today. He just put a warrant out for the rest of the opposing party.
So you're telling me a guy that didn't necessarily win an election got really angry and then kind of hijacked the government trying to get the result that he wanted.
Kind of weird.
Why does that sound familiar? See, I do it on both sides. You can't get mad at me because I hate them, but I hate them all. Okay?
Sounds wildly familiar.
Politicians are awful.
But this is more of a problem down there because it's actually happening, and not just something the media is fueling. Anyhow, Nicolas Maduro, he is facing a lot of opposition in his country, and I guess he's at the stage where I'll just say anything at this point to try to keep you from rioting in the streets, and I don't know, possibly targeting me for assassination when I leave my home. He came out in a speech yesterday and said, "You know what? It's September, and it already feels like Christmas." This is a direct quote, by the way. "It's September, and it already feels like Christmas. So this year, as a way of paying tribute to you and thanking you, the Venezuelan people, I'm going to decree that Christmas be brought forward to 1 October. Okay. I mean, I guess you can. I guess you can if you want to. The rest of the world's still going to celebrate it at the same time that we do every year.
No doubt.
Christmas coming early in Venezuela, at least while Nicolas Maduro's still alive. That's really what this is all about. He's not sure he's going to make it to December, and he's like, you know what? We should have Christmas early because it's my favorite time, and I need to say Momo one more time.
I don't understand how this works. Like, how do you tell parents, hey, by the way, you got 27 days, bro. You're expecting to have an extra couple months.
It's Venezuela. They don't have money for presents anyway.
At Sports Take ESPN. Don't worry if that upsets you. I will try to set a new mark here in just a minute.
Hey.
My story comes
Who
from...
you voting for?
My story comes from Jackson, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Six Flags Great Adventure. Apparently, they have a problem with unruly youngsters.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they have put in a new policy to prevent unruly and inappropriate behavior. They announced in a statement that after 5 p.m., all visitors 15 and under must be accompanied by a chaperone who is over the age of 21.
God bless America, my home, sweet home.
This is a change I could get behind because I genuinely feel like many places should have an adults-only time. I also feel like you should have to pass an IQ test for certain things, but, we'll cross one bridge at a time.
Right.
I would like to go maybe one step further and have a probationary period for people from 16 to 18.
Okay.
You don't have to have a chaperone, but you got to go by 9. We need mommy-daddy time after 9. All right? And we've dealt with the stupid things you say and your drip and your riz and all the other things that ain't words. I need you to shut the hell up and get out of here right now.
Sounds like a person who you sound like somebody who has to deal with a lot of kids where you go and you don't
ever.
Like,
you know how you avoid that? Go to bars.
Yes.
Because you have to be 21 to get in the door. And I will stand at the door and I will just do this. Like, I see you. You have to stay out there. And that's why I'm in here. Because you drive me nuts. Okay? None of those things are words. You made them up. They're not real. And I don't know what they mean. And you sound dumb. And it irks me. Drip, riz, goober.
Fit. Whip.
Whip I'm fine with. Whip came along with me. We've been doing that one for a while.
Have you been whipping? Yeah, I guess.
I still don't know what riz is.
I was gonna say, were you whipping and nay-naying, or was that after your time?
Nope, that was me.
That was.
I am of the era that brought
Are you
you
really?
the whip and the nay-nay.
Oh, Soldier Boy. Yeah. I remember those days.
I was here for all of that.
That was actually the first time that I started going, what in the hell are they listening to these days? So curfews, basically.
Yes. And if you're in the park, you have to, and your age is in question, you have to provide your ID to prove that you are over 16. And I'm here for it.
This doesn't sound like the freedom of America that we're used to.
It's 100% the freedom of America. It's the freedom for me to go out in public, not want to just scream at the top of my lungs, what are you doing?
Pull your pants up.
Pull your pants up. Call your mother. She's worried sick. Because she knows that you're just not real bright, and you're out here on your own, to your own devices, doing God knows what.
Yeah. Continuing to ask and answer the biggest questions about all of the teams heading up to the kickoff of the 2024 NFL season. Tomorrow night is opening night. Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs. Jeremy will have all your picks of the night coming up on tomorrow's program.
We got a slew of bangers.
That's right.
Yeah, we might have had to get cute because there's only one game, but I need a reason to get angry and yell.
You got a bunch of props?
Might
do
it. Might just do it. Might have a 5-legger single game parlay that feel particularly warm and fuzzy about.
Nice. Okay, so ways to possibly make you some cash tomorrow.
It's got that drip for sure.
Let's continue to ask and answer the questions about the AFC South. It's a very interesting division. I won't say it's the most interesting because I think the one that we're saving for last is the most interesting division.
I'll say this is the most interesting division.
The South is to you?
Because there's so many unknowns.
Okay. To me, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's the biggest question mark for me in the division.
I would agree with that.
I just don't know which question is the one to focus on. Are we focusing on the coaching here? Are we focusing on the development of the quarterback? Or are we focusing on the development of the young defense or the new defensive system that they have?
I'll tie it all together. Hey, I'm questioning the guy that's making all of these decisions, Trent Baalke.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I have ever seen a team waste more young talent than Jacksonville. Now, I have questions about Doug. I have questions about the defense. I have questions about the development of the offense. All the things you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Is the offensive line actually any better? I don't know. Here's what I do know. The target is not on your back anymore. I consume a lot of information from people whose opinions I value. I do not know a single soul that has them winning this division. Not one. And I know a couple guys that have the Colts winning this division.
Really?
So was the expectation what got you? Was it the pressure? I don't know. I really don't. Trevor Lawrence has not developed the way that you would want him to. I feel like anybody that's being honest can admit that. He's also only 24 years old. So there's plenty of time. I just don't know that he's ever going to become what you want him to be. You're paying him like he's a superstar. He's not. Yet. That could change. I do have a little bit of a fear with him that he has that Clemsoning attached itself to him, and he can't stop. The problem with Clemson was that they were so much more talented than everybody they played. You didn't have to hone your craft because you only had 2 games a year all year you could lose. And I see that with him. You start getting into higher level throws, higher level decisions, he struggles. Turns the ball over a lot. And now I look around and I'll be honest with you, just blow for blow, I like this team better than last year. Your roster is better than last year's was. But I don't know that your result's going to be any different.
I was going to say, what was the addition that makes them so much better?
Well, it's not necessarily so much the addition as how young this team is. I mean, Anton Harrison was one of the youngest players in the NFL last year. You don't have a ton of vet guys. You've got like medium vets. Maybe they're on their second deal, but they weren't the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you've got a lot of guys that can take the top off the defense. You know, I loved Brian Thomas Jr., and I think he's the one on this team, and it kind of sets the pecking order better for me. Now, instead of dealing with constant dump-offs to Evan Ingram, I've got a Brian Thomas. I've got a Gabe Davis that can take the top off. I've got Christian Kirk that can do the same thing, but he can run routes underneath.
Yep.
I've got Evan Ingram that can sort of run routes. I think that opens up Travis Etienne. This is the way this should work, but it's the way it should have worked last year. I don't know that Doug's the guy. I know Doug's the best guy you could have right this second. And I think there's enough talent here. Jacksonville, to me, should be a borderline playoff team if they're not in. But I have no faith that you will be. So I answered the question poorly. I have institutional problems from ownership on down.
Yeah.
We acted like Shad Khan just all of a sudden became a genius because he hired Doug Peterson and he was in a terrible division. No, this is the same guy we made fun of 3 years ago. This was still the worst team in the NFL. My questions are from the top down, not necessarily the roster. Because you can keep rearranging these cups. I'm not sure if you don't do something in the suite that it matters.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts, since they are, well, I guess the other team that has gotten some votes to win this division. I don't know that I've seen that predicted anywhere. I feel like everybody is picking Houston and just leaving this division to them.
Well, we did that last year, and guess what? We were
did.
all wrong.
We did.
I didn't know a soul that picked the Houston Texans.
No, we all picked Jacksonville. That was supposed to be their year. Indianapolis did threaten for the division last year. And their biggest question it's the quarterback.
No doubt. This is the easiest one in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I like a lot of what this team has. I think the offensive line is, talent-wise, is strong. I don't mind the weapons. Adding A.D. Mitchell, you've still got Alec Pierce. I think they go 1 to 4 pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love your 1 and your 2 as much as I do many other teams in the league, but you're deep. Jonathan Taylor, that's about as good as you're going to get at running back in this league. I have a slew of questions about the defense. But even with that, if Anthony Richardson is what you drafted him to be, then you have a plan. I will go back to Denver. Denver has no plan. And what I mean when I say plan is, how are you intending on winning games? I can figure that out with the Colts. You're going to run the ball a lot. You're going to grind teams out. You're going to keep defenses on the field. You have a big arm quarterback who is mobile, which will keep safeties down in the box. And I've got 2 high flyers in Josh Downs and A.D. Mitchell. That should be enough for me to hit a couple shots a game. My goal is defensively, you don't allow 20 points because we can get to 21 routinely, and that's how I'm going to win games. It ain't going to be pretty. People are not going to love watching it. This will probably be one of the tougher teams in the NFL to watch. But can the defense hold up to that? And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't love a lot of what they have on that side. I don't know about the edge rushers. I don't know that you're going to consistently get home. I like that you added Leatu Latu, but I still don't know if you have that guy. You got DeForest Buckner. I think your linebacker core is pretty good. Then I get to the secondary and go, oh, good Lord, that gives me all the angina in the world.
Well, yeah.
Because you match that up with Houston, like go to PFF and just do that thing where you can load the offense and load the defense and then look at the matchups and try to find me one that's beneficial for Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not there. And that's what scares me. Anthony Richardson scares me to death, but I think anybody that's listened to the show for more than about 15 seconds already knew that.
Right. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is CSPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We will continue answering the biggest questions for all of the AFC teams coming up in the next hour. Take this opportunity to remind everybody that the Battle for the Belt contest is open. And if you missed our earlier announcement today, new grand prize, or adding to the grand prize, of the championship belt that is given to the winner each and every year. But this year's daily fantasy contest, the grand prize winner will also take home $1,000 in cash.
And we have a new entrant into the Battle for the Belt.
Uh-huh.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
James Rorick, welcome to battle for the belt. Another new entrant. And a Nashville guy. I was like, we love all the listeners of this show, but it's always nice when you see somebody that's actually from Asheville and you go, hey, that actually lives here.
Get in on the contest, and do not forget that we just want to give you an opportunity to win money.
This is the fun of this contest for me is it gives us a reason to talk smack. We show up at the Village Porch on the Sundays that we are in town. We go down there and watch games. Guys show up. We're comparing DraftKings rosters. We're playing against each other, and it leads to a lot of really fun afternoons on football Sundays.
Yes.
We're trying to add more dates at the porch this year. It's just we're looking at the schedule going, well, if last week is any indicator, I was so dead by Monday that I didn't get out of my bed until about 2.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I mean, look, if that does happen and we end up just being weary from the road every Sunday, we can still get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Week 1 is here. Kickoff is tomorrow night. 3-point spread on the game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. Not into betting spreads. You can just start simple and bet on somebody to score a touchdown. I believe we're still plus money right now on Travis Kelce to score anytime touchdown tomorrow night in that opening game. That may be the way for you to go. Score big with the DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium on DraftKings. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
If you're listening to this Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance ad, there's a good chance that you're alive. And if you're not, well, this may not be of interest to you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Life insurance, I'm going to live forever. Death is what happens to other people. Well, for the sake of argument, let's assume you're wrong, and that someday you won't be listening to the radio anymore. I know it's not easy to talk about, so I'll do the talking. If you're 50 plus and alive, or 50 to 75 in New York, you can apply for Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance with guaranteed acceptance regardless of your health. And since this life insurance is guaranteed, you don't have to get a medical exam. In fact, you don't even have to fill out a health questionnaire. For a free quote, visit GerberLifeFamily.com. Then when you if you stop listening to the radio, your family can use the insurance money to help cover your final expenses or anything else. Your kids already inherited your ears, allergies, and questionable singing voice. Don't make them inherit your final expense tab too. Visit GerberLifeFamily.com. See website for terms and restrictions.
Does your home need a new look? Step into a world of flooring possibilities at the Carpet Barn. Plush carpet, sleek hardwood, stylish tile. The Carpet Barn has it all. Whether you want comfort, durability, or that wow factor, you'll find it in their 300,000 square feet of flooring options. Find the perfect floor for your lifestyle and budget. Head to CarpetBarnCarolina.com for your free in-home estimate now. Veteran owned and operated. The Carpet Barn, the one-stop shop for flooring.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process process ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Cullowhee is the place to be for the Catamount Football home opener on Saturday, September 7th at 1 p.m. as nationally ranked WCU takes on Campbell at Bob Waters Field, E.J. Whitmire Stadium. It's Whiteout Whitmire as all fans are encouraged to wear white. The first 5,000 fans get a free whiteout t-shirt. Advanced ticket sales start at just $16 for adults and $11 for kids. For tickets, visit catamountsports.com or call 800-34-GO-WCU. Proudly sponsored by Ingles Markets and iHeartMedia Asheville. Go Cats!
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Didn't have too much time earlier to talk about the weekend. It's going to be sunny and highs in the mid-70s, but the lows could be down into the 40s for everybody, so some cooler air coming in. Cooler than this air mass we've had early in the week. Partly sunny and 75 today. Tonight, still think upper 50s and more clouds and sun tomorrow, 80. Friday, mostly sunny, 80. Highs over the weekend, as I said, mid-70s with sunshine, overnight lows, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Call the experts at Zero Res Air Duct Cleaning and mention ESPN Asheville to get $50 off your next air duct cleaning service. Use code AIR50 at ZeroResAsheville.com. Zero Res, it's the right way to clean.
Did you know you can now use your body's own healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get real lasting pain relief? I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. If you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder, this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. People here rave about the results. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain and without drugs or surgery or downtime. Under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. They've got tens of thousands of satisfied patients and the consultation is totally free. So call now. Take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, live at the Ingles studio, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400, and we're heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. We are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that gets you into the chat. All your thoughts on the biggest questions regarding all of the NFL teams, working our way through the AFC on today's program. Tomorrow, we'll focus on the NFC teams, as tomorrow is finally the day where we can put the games aside. Well, not really. I mean, we like the games, but I mean like the video games and stuff. We no longer have to pretend that football season is here as the NFL gets underway tomorrow night. Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs. Full preview coming up on tomorrow's show, as well as all of the bangers with Flostradamus, Jeremy Green. First 5 on it of the season.
Yes. Yes, bringing that back for another year. Very excited about that with our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's here. I always get to this point, and there is an excitement that is hard to explain. Like, if you're not a football fan, it is hard to explain because no sport goes away for this long. The last game was in February. It's September. How good you are at math. 7 months.
Yeah, it's a long time.
7 months just waiting to see football that mattered.
But here we are, eve of the beginning of the 2024 NFL season, and asking the hard questions about all of the teams. In the AFC South, there is one team that was not even thinked about. That's a word I said.
Let's go.
We weren't even thinking about them.
We didn't even think about them not nary a time.
Last year, the Houston Texans is the team I'm talking about. We didn't have that on our tote board. It was pretty much Jacksonville or Indianapolis.
I thought Houston was the worst team in the NFL.
And then C.J. Stroud happened and had the rookie year of all rookie years for a quarterback. And then they went out in the offseason and just picked up pieces. Every hole that they had pretty much got filled at some point. They went out and got Joe Mixon. They went out and got Stephon Diggs. Nico, you're such a child. Nico Collins is healthy.
I tried. It's so hard.
Tank Dell, healthy. Dalton Schultz, I mean, he's a dog. The offensive line, pretty good.
The offensive line's my question.
I mean, they're pretty good.
That's my question. That's my question because I look at the way you built this team, and I can tell you right now, this team plans on airing it out. The one way to attack it that I can see right now, look, no team in the NFL is good enough in the secondary to man up those guys all day long. They just don't exist. The New York Jets eventually would give up big plays because you just got guys everywhere. There's no way for me to run with everything you have. But I can speed it up. And that line, you said it's good enough. Was that your
I mean, isn't
terminology? Your center was one of the worst in the NFL last year. Your right tackle was one of the worst in the NFL last year. Your left guard hasn't played enough to ever register on the scale.
I thought Juice was pretty good last year.
He was terrible last year.
All right. I was going to say, I like Shaq. Laramie Tunsil is the cornerstone. All right, so maybe Juice wasn't that good. I think he's a good prospect.
67th of 79 qualifying.
That's not good.
No.
At all.
And the sad thing is he's better as a run blocker than he was as a pass blocker.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, not great.
All right, so
but
maybe they got some things to work on.
But it always, people always do this backwards, but they don't do it forwards. Having a good receiving core like that, really beneficial for your offensive line too. Because I can't just send blitzers at you. I feel like the kryptonite for the Houston Texans has already been seen. We saw it last year. It was the Jets. The Jets beat them mercilessly because I didn't have to blitz you. I can send that fifth guy, but I could man you up. They didn't have Stephon Diggs at that point. They didn't have Tank Dell at that point. It was just Nico and Noah Brown, and I think Mechie was back by that time.
And that's the only secondary in the NFL that's good enough to be able to hang with them fully healthy.
Them in Cleveland. That's the second question, is can you keep this roster intact all year long? As long as you got weapons like that, there's not many teams that can beat you. They might catch you on a stray day, but in terms of a playoff game where it's all on the line, there are not going to be many teams that can line up and beat this team.
The offensive line is a good question mark for them. My biggest question mark for this team is, can CJ do it again? is there a quote-unquote sophomore slump a-coming?
Well, the sophomore slump comes in because teams get tape on guys.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with C.J. Stroud for me is that we had a lot of tape on him going into last year. He played at Ohio State for quite some time. So I had a pretty good understanding. Now, what's funny is how many of us missed what it was we were looking at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think he's going to regress the way a lot of guys do. I also don't really see the holes in his game. He doesn't hold up to pressure. Most young guys don't. He also didn't face a ton of it. So, and this for me would be a secondary question, but it's a loud one. Can you hold up to the expectations? All you are is the Jacksonville Jaguars of last year. We thought that was a foregone conclusion, that nobody in this division could contend with them. I remember specifically saying they were going to be the 1 seed in the AFC because you get 6 wins in the division, and that's enough to separate because nobody else will win more than 5. Now you're them because nobody has any belief in them. Tennessee's rebuilding. Indianapolis has a young quarterback that we've seen very little of. Expectations weigh heavy.
They do, but they are better than that Jacksonville team was.
They were better than that Jacksonville team last year.
Exactly. The
Look,
fact that you were
was better than Jacksonville the year before. When did it all come tumbling after? When everybody and their brother thought this was the best team in the AFC South. They were going to cruise into the playoffs, and they couldn't deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
You had injuries. You had just unbelievably bad coaching decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have a better coach. I like D'Amico Ryans better than Doug Peterson. It's not even close. I like C.J. Stroud better than like Trevor Lawrence. I like your weapons better. I do think they are better. But I would be remiss to not point out, after I got the rug pulled out from underneath me last year, to not say, be careful. I'm taking Houston comfortably. Don't get me wrong. But I'm also aware of, I felt that way last year. Didn't go so great.
Yeah. I am more scared of the singular sophomore slump coming for C.J. Stroud than I am for a second-year slump from the coaching staff and from the scheme and all of that. This franchise turned on a dime. And I don't think you derail momentum like that.
Weird. Jacksonville turned on a dime, too.
Yeah, but did they, though?
You went from the worst team in the NFL to winning a playoff game, and you pushed the Kansas City Chiefs in the divisional round. Yeah, they had turned pretty aggressively.
Yeah.
And look, I'm just saying, the comparison here is very apt. We thought that the front office of the Houston Texans was the biggest group of morons in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1 year later, they were going to the Super Bowl. I saw me do this a year ago. Not saying it's going to happen again. I'm just saying I'd be remiss if I didn't point it out.
I do feel like I would be remiss if I didn't point out you were the only one that said that Jacksonville could go to a Super Bowl.
I didn't say Jacksonville could go to a Super Bowl. I said they're going to be the 1 seed in the AFC because they played the weakest schedule in the AFC.
Yes.
Now, Brady Quinn, on the other hand, did say they could go to a Super Bowl.
Which, unfortunate. Quite unfortunate. And then the last team in this division, which I don't know that I'm so convinced that they are going to be last in this division. It's the Tennessee Titans. If you were to get good play out of Will Levis, I mean, you may not be in the cellar of the division. They could possibly finish ahead of Indianapolis or even Jacksonville. But you're not threatening to anybody for a playoff spot, for a playoff win. I don't feel like that's in your future. But the more I do look at this team, the less I feel like this is, Tennessee's going to win 4 games and they're going to be terrible. You got the possibility you could be around 500 this season. Do you disagree?
No. I'm going to use that word again. I'd be remiss if I didn't point out, hey, who finished last in the AFC South in 2021? Oh, it's Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mhm.
Who won the division in 2022? Oh, it's Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mhm.
Who finished last in the division in 2022? That was the Houston Texans. Who won the division in 2023? That was the Houston Texans. Who finished last in the division last year? The Tennessee Titans.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna tell me I'm out of my mind? Because look, I have a significant wager on the Houston Texans to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I keep looking at Tennessee and going, that team's too good for us to treat them like an afterthought. I get it. The schedule's tough. This is one of those times that I think we're putting too much stock in the schedule. You're putting too much stock into you have a new coach with a quarterback that we don't have a ton of tape on that is ridiculously talented. And they have made it abundantly clear that Will Levis is the guy.
Yeah.
The only other quarterback on that roster is Mason Rudolph. What does that tell you? A guy who we all think is really, really bright in Brian Callahan is screaming from the rooftops, I'm all in on Will Levis.
Mm-hmm.
You think you're smarter than Brian Callahan? Because I don't.
No, I do not. I did not know this either, but I figured I would point it out about Will Levis that last year he had the most air yards on his passes.
Mm-hmm.
He had the most average air yards of any quarterback in the NFL at like 10.5 air yards.
He has an absolute howitzer arm.
And that's never been the question. The question, I can remember us having the discussions of him coming out of Kentucky were turnovers. Is he going to be the next Josh Allen? I believe was a lot of the discussion.
In terms of body makeup, they're very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I'm not telling you that Stephen Towle said Houston's better than the Titans. Calm down. I didn't say they weren't. What I said is that we're treating the Titans like an afterthought. This feels exactly like it felt last year. And I'm not ready to throw dirt. Let me ask a question, just because I'm curious. If I told you the Houston Texans didn't win this division, you had to bet your house on a team to do it, who would it be?
Oh.
I have confirmed to you that the Houston Texans, did not win the AFC South in 2024. You have to bet your house on a team to do it. Who you betting on?
I would probably go Indianapolis.
I would go Tennessee Titans, and I wouldn't even think about it. You wouldn't even get the question out of your mouth. Literally, you wouldn't even get the question out of your mouth. I don't believe in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in that coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in Anthony Richardson. You have just taken away the one big caveat that I had, which was Houston's best team in this division. The second you pull that back, Tennessee. Easy. And it's one of those that I'm like, could somebody tell me that? Because I'd like to bet it a lot.
The defense is going to be much improved. There's no doubt about that.
It's probably the best defense of this division.
The weapons are good.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody posted in the chat here that the trio, Rob Johnson, Hopkins, Ridley, Boyd, that's a good trio. And I would agree with that. But it's also a trio that I feel like needs that quarterback. And everything hinges on Will Levis.
And Stephen Towle followed up with a team that's been there before, Jacksonville. Oh, how quickly we forget. Jacksonville's been there once. Tennessee dominated this division for years. For years. They've dominated this division for the better part outside of since Peyton Manning's been gone from Indianapolis. I don't know the numbers on that. Houston had a couple years. Tennessee was the only team that was consistently good. That's institutional structure. Jacksonville's been god-awful for 7 years.
Yeah.
Tennessee hasn't. They had a bad year. Bad year.
Yep. But the institutional structure that won there, it's no longer in existence, is it?
The coaches.
Other than the ownership.
The ownership. You got a new GM. The front office is very similar. You got some of the same scouts that were still hitting guys in the Derrick Henry times. It's so funny to me, and this is not a shot at you. It's going to sound that way because you're the one that just said that.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny to me how quickly people think that NFL franchises just turn on a dime. like, oh, we hired a new GM and a new coach and everything's all hunky dunky. No, you still suck from the top down. Your owner's still clueless. Your GM's still clueless. You hit on a couple draft picks. I'll put it this way. I'm going to use my team because I know my team better than any team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I think Joe Douglas is probably top 5 GM in the NFL. Do you agree or disagree?
I'd agree.
Do you realize how long it took him to fix that roster?
How long?
He's been there 4 full years.
Mm-hmm.
Been there this is his 5th year with the New York Jets. 2 of those were god-awful. Awful. Because it takes a long time to change things from the top down. He's been eradicating scouts. He's been eradicating bad members of that front office every year.
Mm-hmm.
And he ain't done yet. It takes a long time to change a team from the top down. That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Houston went through, and Houston had been reasonably good for a couple years with Deshaun Watson. Other than that, unmitigated train wreck for 20 years.
So are the Tennessee Titans the second best team in this division? That's an odd. It seems like an odd question, but after what I just said, coming into this, I would not be shocked if they had a 500-ish season, and I honestly wouldn't be shocked if the other teams did as well. Other than the Houston Texans, I wouldn't be shocked to see the rest of this team look like the NFC South, where you had 8-9, 9-8. I mean, that's how it finished last year. We think Houston's going to be better than that, but that was the race. Was who's going to be over 500?
We're gonna lock in our predictions on Friday. I will give you one early. I will have the Indianapolis Colts as the worst team in this division.
Mm-hmm.
I will have the Jacksonville Jaguars not tremendously far ahead of them. I'll probably have Indy at 5-12, Jacksonville at 7-10. I'll probably have Tennessee at 9-8, and I'll have Houston about 12-5. And I'll be honest with you, you know what changed that?
What's that?
Being around that team. When Amy and I went to Nashville, we got around the Titans, I watched this team. And I went, there's a swagger here that I haven't seen from anybody else. I didn't see it from the Bears. I didn't see it from the Texans. I didn't see it from the Jets. I didn't see it from the Panthers. Didn't really see it from the 49ers. And that's a team that's been together forever. I saw something with Tennessee that made me go, if you break this roster down and you take your preconceived bias that Tennessee is not good out of this, it's hard to look at that roster and say that team's not good.
Yeah.
Plus, I believe in Will Levis, which also helps a lot.
This is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We will continue taking a look at the AFC teams, the AFC North. To me, the most interesting of the divisions in all of football, the most competitive division, I feel like, in the NFL this upcoming season. We'll ask and answer the biggest questions about all of them coming up next.
Radio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Just added to the superstar lineup.
The Weeknd. And a special performance by Coldplay's Chris Martin.
Joining a weekend of headliners.
A$AP Rocky. Big Sean.
Camila Cabello.
Doja Cat. Dua Lipa.
Gwen Stefani.
Halsey.
Hosier. Keith Urban.
New Kids on the Block. Paramore.
The Black Crowes. Thomas Rhett.
Victoria Monet.
At T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Get your tickets now at AXS.com.
If you like my corny dad jokes, then you need to go see Dr. Rebecca Merrill at Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry. I sat down with her the other day, and she had me laughing. And, y'all, that is the environment that they create at Asheville Smiles. You're going to feel relaxed. It's like a family when you go there. They want to make sure that you are comfortable during whatever procedure, whatever process you have to have done. With general family dentistry, as well as Invisalign orthodontics with free Invisalign consultations. Also, they do Botox, fillers, sleep apnea screenings, which are also free. Read more online at AshevilleSmiles.com.
Did you know you can now use your body's own healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get real lasting pain relief? I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. If you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder, this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. People here rave about the results. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain and without drugs or surgery or downtime. Under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. They've got tens of thousands of satisfied patients and the consultation is totally free. So call now. Take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Cullowhee is the place to be for the Catamount Football home opener on Saturday, September 7th at 1 p.m. as nationally ranked WCU takes on Campbell at Bob Waters Field, E.J. Whitmire Stadium. It's Whiteout Whitmire as all fans are encouraged to wear white. The first 5,000 fans get a free whiteout t-shirt. Advanced ticket sales start at just $16 for adults and $11 for kids. For tickets, visit catamountsports.com or call 800-34-GO-WCU. Proudly sponsored by Ingles Markets and iHeartMedia Asheville. Go Cats!
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though, we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
Asking and answering the biggest questions about every NFL team. This is the Sportsocracy. Happy kickoff eve to everyone.
Kickoff eve. Oh, kickoff eve.
We will have tomorrow night Kansas City, Baltimore, kicking off the season. All of the picks coming your way on tomorrow's program. The full preview of tomorrow night's game, as well as all of the toughest questions about the NFC teams asked and answered on tomorrow's program. The AFC North. Let's start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. For any particular reason, but I mean, you were the biggest question mark for me of the entire division.
It's funny because they're the most definitive answer to me.
Well, because you believe that they're going to be 9-8 and just that solid team always. Is that where your mind goes?
I've made the joke that they're going to finish 9-8.
Right.
If this team finishes 9-8, Mike Tomlin should be allowed to take over as governor of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Because this team is terrible on offense. I mean, what do they do well? I'll save you some time. Mm-hmm. It's nothing. Your offensive line was complete Swiss cheese in the preseason. Playing as backups. What do you think starters are going to do to you? Mm-hmm. You have no quarterback. You have old Danger Russ, of which the only thing that is dangerous about him is his effect on the cholesterol and the blood pressure of people wearing black and gold. So the question is, do you think you can lean on your rushing attack, Arthur Smith, and your defense? And I would say no to all three because I don't think your defense is that good.
Mm-hmm.
You, T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith, really, really well. I like your front three. Basically, I like your front seven. I hate the back half of this defense. It's Minkah Fitzpatrick and Joey Porter and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing really there to like. You're counting on Dante Jackson playing in a scheme that does not fit him. So take what you saw of him in Carolina and make it worse, and that's one of your starters. I don't see it. You don't have any playmakers that really scare me. It's George Pickens and really not much else.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing here. If it was anybody but Pittsburgh, we would be talking about this team having the number 1 pick in the draft. Fact or fiction?
Close to it.
Roster-wise, is this team better than the Minnesota Vikings? Because I would say no.
No. I wouldn't say so.
Yeah,
but I think they're
no.
better than the Giants, aren't they?
They're better than the Giants. They're better than New England.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the third team in that list? Who are they better than in the AFC that's not the Denver Broncos, the New England Patriots? Roster for roster,
that's about it.
There's not another one, and I don't think they're even close.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I get it. Institutional stability from the top down. Nobody does it better than Pittsburgh. You cannot overcome Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. You can't do it.
You wouldn't think so.
I don't think anybody can do it.
If they do, then it'll be just like last year. It's the greatest coaching job that Mike Tomlin's ever done. I remember saying that at one point last year.
And this team to me is significantly
right.
worse.
That if he ends up with a winning record with this team, it'll be the best job he's ever done. And sure enough, at the end of the season, there they were, riding the defense. And that was it. The defense was winning in games.
Mm-hmm.
Can they do it again? Maybe. But I highly doubt it.
Mike Tomlin in the last 6 years has gone 9-6-1, 8-8, 12-4, 9-7-1, 9-8, 10-7. This is the worst team he's had, and it's not close.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback, okay, Russell Wilson's probably a fractional improvement, I would say.
Yeah.
Over Kenny Pickett?
Yes.
Now you don't have Deontay Johnson. It's a wash. You lost your best weapon. You couldn't get him out of town fast enough.
And now you have George Pickens and a group of guys. I don't think it's going to be a very happy season for Pittsburgh Steelers fans.
Set a mark on the record.
I will say 6. No. 5 wins.
You know what this reminds me of? I swear to you, I've read this book before.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2015 in Baltimore.
Okay.
Flacco was fine, but then he got hurt. And you had Ryan Mallett and a slew. I think they started like 4 or 5 quarterbacks that year.
Mm-hmm.
And they went 5-11. That's what I think you got in Pittsburgh here. The only difference is that you don't have Joe Flacco to win you those 5 games.
Right.
Because if I remember correctly, I think he won 3, and God, I'm trying to remember who was on that team. Oh, here it is. Ryan Mallett, Jimmy Clausen, Matt Schaub. Those were the quarterbacks they played that year.
Woo.
That's what this Pittsburgh team feels like without Joe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
And they were 3-7 with Flacco.
Russell Wilson is the captain, or one of the captains, chosen by his teammates. Justin Fields, we've had the debate all offseason long of who will they turn to. I guess the players have now voted, and they're all in the Russell Wilson camp, which to me makes the Justin Fields thing even more interesting.
What, now he's looking around going, I don't even have the support of my teammates?
Bingo. Just another thing to hurt that ego that we all know he has.
Oh, no doubt.
And he's never been shy about voicing that opinion at some point.
No doubt.
Could be a whole new drama-filled situation for the Pittsburgh Steelers moving on with Russell Wilson. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We'll talk about the rest of the AFC North. How good can that the other 3 teams in the division be? We'll be right back.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Didn't have too much time earlier to talk about the weekend. It's going to be sunny and highs in the mid-70s, but the lows could be down into the 40s for everybody, so some cooler air coming in. Cooler than this air mass we've had early in the week. Partly sunny and 75 today. Tonight, still think upper 50s and more clouds and sun tomorrow, 80. Friday, mostly sunny, 80. Highs over the weekend, as I said, mid-70s with sunshine, overnight lows, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Bojangles. It's always bow time.
It's bow time. Introducing new Bojangles chicken wings. Try the boldly seasoned classic, sweet and smoky barbecue, or creamy buffalo for some heat. Head to Bojangles and order all 3 flavors for your next party. It's bow time.
People are talking about Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt. One user writes on their Google review, fantastic dental practice. Everyone I've come into contact with at Summit Dental has been very helpful and professional. The administrative front desk staff go out of their way to help with things that they don't have to do. Dr. Tompkins and Kim have been working on me recently, and they have been great about taking the time to explain everything they're doing to make it more comfortable for me. Summit Dental in Asheville. Call them today, 828-277-6868 or online at AshevilleSummitDental.com.
Cullowhee is the place to be for the Catamount Football home opener on Saturday, September 7th at 1 p.m. as nationally ranked WCU takes on Campbell at Bob Waters Field, E.J. Whitmire Stadium. It's White Out Whitmire as all fans are encouraged to wear white. The first 5,000 fans get a free White Out t-shirt. Advanced ticket sales start at just $16 for adults and $11 for kids. For tickets, visit catamountsports.com or call 800-34-GO-WCU. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets and iHeartMedia Asheville. Go Cats!
At Ingalls, we're proud to work with hundreds of local farms and businesses in the communities we call home. Quality, freshness, community, it's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingalls. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town, packaged fresh every day, and smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real, in the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and it is time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
Yeah. Here's a tip. All right, this is just a PSA for everybody else. In case we didn't know this already. If you buy a self or an assisted driving car, it's not a self-driving car. You can't just turn on the assist and go, hands off, I'm through now.
And go, not.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a nap.
Yep.
You just drive me home.
Yep. Woman up in Philadelphia facing charges in connection with a multi-vehicle crash on I-95 back in March that left 2 people dead. She just turned herself in for the charges. Apparently, she's a pre-med student, 23 years old. She was drunk, got behind the wheel of her car and went, you drive now. Turned on the lane assist and all cruise control assist and all that stuff in her nice, fancy little car and killed 2 people. It was a dude like helping a stranded motorist on the side of the road and opened up the door and her car didn't tell and here she is. life absolutely ruined, obviously has ended the lives of 2 other people. Again, a PSA. If it says it's assisted driving, that does not mean that you can just let it take over. Car companies say exactly the same thing. Purely autonomous vehicles do not exist to the common person right now. And if you are driving one of these vehicles, then you should be paying attention.
Wait, does that mean we have completely autonomous vehicles, but they're not available to the public?
Well, I mean, you can get autonomous vehicle, like you can take autonomous taxis and stuff in San Francisco. There's nobody, you have no control over the car. There's nobody running the car.
Oh, man. Okay. So maybe I took that too. I thought he was saying we had like government tanks that were just out here doing stuff.
No.
I don't like that at all. I saw Terminator. That don't end so good.
Not that kind of autonomous vehicle.
My story is from Wildwood, New Jersey.
They're not Autobots.
It's also a car story.
Yeah.
A lot of people go to the beach for Labor Day, and an unnamed woman, whose name was not released in the story, did just that. Went to the beach in Wildwood, and, things happen. You get unruly beach goers. Maybe they didn't listen to the glass ordinance, whatever it was. A police officer, this is according to Police Chief Joseph Murphy, a police officer with the Wildwood Police Department went to serve a citation for an ordinance violation. Hopped on the beach in their Ford F-150, and they just went to driving. And I don't know if this woman was laying on a towel that looked like sand. I don't know. Police officer just ran her over.
Oh.
Didn't see her laying on the beach and ran over her. Broke several ribs.
Ouch.
3 fractured vertebrae and injured a lung. I've always thought it was a bad idea to drive vehicles on a beach.
Yes.
At least, and I've been to a few that they have a specific spot that you can't sit. Because I've always thought, I would think this would happen more often than it does.
Mm-hmm.
Because those things are hard to see out of. My parents have the all-terrain vehicle like you see on the beach. It's hard to see directly in front of that, especially if you come up over a hill. So if there's like a mound of sand, it's not the easiest thing to see.
Stay off the dunes.
T's and P's.
Ouch.
According to reports, the victim should survive with a little bit of rehab.
Good. Very good. It's a big time coming up tomorrow. NFL season getting underway there, Jeremy.
It is the biggest season for the DraftKings Sportsbook. This is as big as it gets because the NFL season is here. Week 1 is here, and a new season means new ways to bet with our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. If you're ready to make your first bet, you can do it on lines, you can do it on spreads, you can pick outright winners, or you could just pick somebody to score a touchdown if that's what you're into. All those options are open to you with DraftKings Sportsbook because they have all the ways for you to win. And score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet on football. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium on us. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms of responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
The top teams in the AFC North. According to our projections, anyways, we've already talked about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have them at the bottom of this division. My next team in third in this division, I think it's going to end up being the Cleveland Browns because they're the team that I think I have the biggest question about your quarterback. I mean, I get there's a question about Cincinnati with Joe Burrow, and we'll get to that in a minute. But more than anything, Deshaun Watson, not only has he not been healthy like Joe Burrow, he's sucked on ice since he came to Cleveland. Since that last year in Houston. is there another giant question, or is it all on Deshaun at this point?
It's all on the offense. I don't need Deshaun Watson to be what he was in Houston. I need him to be serviceable. I need him to be able to give me what Joe Flacco gave me at the end of last year, and I'm not sure he can do it. He has been awful, and he's been hurt. I don't know. I don't know if there's a bigger question mark in the NFL than Deshaun Watson on a team that doesn't have a ton of them. Your receiving core's better. The offensive line's good. I don't know what's going on with your running back, but just based on watching him do squats, I think we're being, we're doing our due diligence.
Yeah, little kid gloves.
And your defense is phenomenal. Outside of Deshaun Watson, there's just not really much there.
Mm-mm.
But, man, he makes up for the others by being the biggest question mark to me in the NFL.
Right. Well, look, when you're in the toughest division in football, you need to have all of the pieces. And a quarterback is a huge part of that scenario.
His entire time in Cleveland, he's had 4 total games where his QBR was above 50. 50 is league average.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the definition of replacement level. That's what Kenny Pickett, according to QBR, that's what he should be.
And he's done it 4 times.
He's done it 4 times.
And
2 of those were really close.
I was going to say, in how many games? 12?
12, yes.
12 games.
One of them he got knocked out of very early.
Mm-hmm. But there again, that's all he's given you since he's gotten to town. And, there are no more excuses.
Well, he missed 2022 I can give as a blip. I've already given you he's had a full offseason. Well, you were terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You were terrible. You got hurt in 3 weeks. You did have 1 game against the Tennessee Titans where you looked like old Deshaun Watson. And then you missed a month.
Yep.
Came back for a game, played 10 snaps, gone for 2 more weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Came back for 2 weeks, looked really good against Baltimore, end of season.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, injuries are as big a problem with him as inconsistency is.
No doubt about it. All right, now the Cincinnati Bengals. Health is the biggest question for me. I don't have much concern about the defense, I don't think. I don't think I have much concern about the offensive game plan or the weapons. It's all, can you stay healthy? And can your quarterback stay healthy?
And I have way more questions here than you do.
Okay.
You lost your offensive coordinator. You lost your offensive line coach. There's a lot to be scared of with Cincinnati to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because Joe Burrow is a cure of all ills. I don't feel great about a lot of other things on this team. Right now, looking at the Bengals roster, what do you feel great about?
I feel great about my receivers.
You shouldn't, because one of them may not play week 1. Jamar Chase could just carry this out and go, nope, not doing it.
You think there's really a possibility of that?
I wouldn't have thought so, but it's Wednesday before a Sunday game, and he's still nowhere to be found.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little disconcerting to me. You got another one that wanted a deal, too, that you basically told, you're going to have to ride this one out, and then we're going to let you walk. And then you get Andre Iashivas very quickly.
Yes.
That'd make me feel great. Oh, by the way, I'm breaking in 2 new running backs, too, because Joe Mixon's gone. I don't feel great about that.
Mm-hmm.
Got a new right tackle, too. That's a lot that looks like the Riddler's jacket. I don't like any of this.
That's a whole bunch of question marks.
You get to the defense is fine, but that's not how they've won games.
Mm-hmm.
They've won games because the defense was good enough and the offense can score on you. I've never had more questions about this offense than I do right now. I love Joe Burrow. I think he's the second best quarterback in the NFL.
But it's the drop-off between, you've talked about Joe Mixon before. And is he really as good as we make him out to be? Is the drop-off from him to Zach Moss and Chase Brown really that much?
No. Continuity.
Yeah.
You play with a guy that long, I know where you're going to be. You might not be a world-beater player, but when Joe Burrow needs on one of those checkdowns he knew exactly where Joe Mixon was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And he may do that with Chase Brown. I don't know. Or Zach Moss. I don't know. That's the problem.
Yep.
Is that I get to the end of a lot of these sentences and go, I don't know. Maybe he can do it. Maybe it'll be awesome.
And then that leaves just one team left in the AFC North. And the way we've made it sound so far, this is just Baltimore's to win.
Oh, no, I can't say that.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of questions about them, too. Your receiving corps, hey, you remember where we were 2 years ago? We're right back there. You have a guy that I trust.
Mm-hmm.
I trust Zay Flowers. You add Derrick Henry. My biggest fear with Baltimore is that this is getting ready to revert back to the Greg Roman days. And they're going to run the ball and run the ball and run the ball and run the ball and run the ball. And I don't see you beating Joe Burrow that way.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, I don't see you beating Cleveland that way. Now, could I be wrong? Sure. That's not this regime's MO.
Right.
That was Greg Roman.
I was going to say, Todd Monken is a little more open with his offense.
I would think so. Now we get into but who are you going to throw it to?
Which is a solid question when you have Zay Flowers and not much else other than Mark Andrews, who is one of the best tight ends in the league, but he's hurt.
The build of the Baltimore Ravens bothers me because it leads me to believe that you have an intention that you're going to win games in a way that's very difficult to win because you didn't do anything to address the wide receiver issues.
Mm-hmm.
You took Tez Walker in the 47th round. It was not that late, but
right?
Still, you've got the same two mediocre to bad receivers that I've been used to you having with Rashad Bateman and Nelson Aguilar. I think if you had to pick a team to win the AFC North right now, who would it be?
Baltimore Ravens.
I'll take the Cincinnati Bengals. Even with the questions I asked.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the questions that I have about Cincinnati. I believe more in a year-over-year with even the instability that Cincinnati has. Because I don't love what you've done here. And I look at the defense, and it's kind of hard for me to trust. You got a new coordinator. So there's some turnover there. And I don't know who's supposed to rush the passer. The guy you count on is Kyle Van Noy. I don't buy that.
Odafe Owa.
Well, you got David Ajabo and Odafe Owa, who to me are the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
They're hyper athletic. They never really develop the move that I want. And I just don't think they're going to win consistently. And then I look to the schedule. You want to know why this division has so much uncertainty about who wins it? Because if you wind up as a division winner in the AFC, you better put your big boy pants on because you're getting ready to see the ugly side of the AFC. And that's where Baltimore is. Yeah, where'd Cincinnati finish last year? Dead last.
Yep.
Schedule's easier.
Mm-hmm.
I get New England. You get Buffalo. Advantage me.
Yep.
I get let's see who finished last in that division. I believe it was the Broncos. I get the Broncos. You get the Chiefs.
Yep.
Advantage me.
Yep.
You get the Houston Texans. I get the Tennessee Titans. Advantage me. And that's enough because I do think these teams are close. Earlier, you said this is the most interesting division. My God, I could not disagree with that more if I tried. Then you followed it up with it's the most competitive division.
Mm-hmm.
That I agree with. Interesting? Nah, dog, I'll pass because this is cold, slow, rainy, snowy football. Some people love it. I don't.
I do. I do love it. I always love the AFC North matchups. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's the closest thing that we have to Big Ten football in the NFL.
It is,
and I really enjoy that little break from time to time.
I don't watch Big Ten football either.
Yep.
So we have one super chat before we go into the last break, and then we have a spirited reading of "'Twas the Night Before Kickoff." Yeah, it's from our buddy Bo Walker, who wanted to point out that his name and the name that he registered with in Battle for the Belt are different. If that is the case and you want a different name on the shirt when we print them, be sure to put that in the comments. You also have to give me your shirt size. But in the email, which I get your email so I can correspond with you. See how that works? If I don't have it, I'll ask for it.
Yep.
And when you get the email with the invitation, if you want something different on it, you can tell me there. But if you still haven't registered, you should. $1,000 cash prize to the winner. Let's go. Put your shirt size and the name you want on the shirt in the comments.
All right, Bo, we'll make it work for you.
No doubt. I notated that when the payment came through because I knew exactly what that was.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
If you're listening to this Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance ad, there's a good chance that you're alive. And if you're not, well, this may not be of interest to you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Life insurance, I'm going to live forever. Death is what happens to other people. Well, for the sake of argument, let's assume you're wrong, and that someday you won't be listening to the radio anymore. I know it's not easy to talk about, so I'll do the talking. If you're 50 plus and alive, or 50 to 75 in New York, you can apply for Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance with guaranteed acceptance regardless of your health. And since this life insurance is guaranteed, you don't have to get a medical exam. In fact, you don't even have to fill out a health questionnaire. For a free quote, visit GerberLifeFamily.com. Then when you if you stop listening to the radio, your family can use the insurance money to help cover your final expenses or anything else. Your kids already inherited your ears, allergies, and questionable singing voice. Don't make them inherit your final expense tab too. Visit GerberLifeFamily.com. See website for terms and restrictions.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
All across the Tar Heel State, this is Carolina football.
Stepping through a tackle and stepping to the end zone. It is pouring points in Chapel Hill. Holy cow, Carolina's going to win!
The Heels host Charlotte in the 2024 home opener. Pre-game coverage starts at 2:30, kickoff at 3:30 on your home for Carolina football.
Asheville's home for the Tar Heels is ESPN Asheville.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
We are back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Kickoff right around the corner, Jeremy, and he's dialed up a special little ceremony for you.
I have one of my favorite things I've ever seen comedically was Frank Caliendo reading "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" as all of the impersonations he did. So I'm going to try to go Captain One Take with all the impressions I do with Tony Tucker's 2009 version of "The Night Before Kickoff."
All right, Lou Holtz.
'Twas the night before kickoff in every fan's house. Not a fan was sleeping, just as their spouse. The jerseys were hung by the flat screen with care in hopes that their team would win the affair.
Bill Clinton.
The players were nestled, all stung in their beds, while visions of touchdowns danced in their heads. The wifey asleep, my computer in lap.
Forgot to set my fantasy team. Oh, what the crap.
Christopher Walken.
On the NFL Network was the injury chatter. I sprang to my feet to see what was the matter. I gave the volume an extra push. What do you know? An extra injury pushing the tush.
Matthew McConaughey.
Lights turned off, so the TV's aglow. Did I forget the beer? Damn it, oh no. When I went to my wondering eyes should appear.
Morgan Freeman.
Drugstore commercials with sales on beer, friends, pizza, and wings. What a day. Except for the times that Favre gives the ball away.
Go to Christopher Walken.
As I close my eyes to fall asleep, tears of joy, I start to weep. Last thing I know is ESPN ticker. Bad news about my team is starting to flicker. What, with only 10 hours to go, my team is selling enough tickets. Blackout, that blows.
Lou Holtz.
No fans should have to miss a game because their team didn't sell enough tickets. In the words of Hank Williams Jr., are you ready for some football?
Very good. All right, kickoff tomorrow here in the Sportsocracy. The full preview plus all the biggest questions answered about every team in the NFC. We will see you then here at the Ingalls studio.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Didn't have too much time earlier to talk about the weekend. It's going to be sunny and highs in the mid-70s, but the lows could be down into the 40s for everybody, so some cooler air coming in. Cooler than this air mass we've had early in the week. Partly sunny and 75 today. Tonight, still think upper 50s, and more clouds and sun tomorrow, 80. Friday, mostly sunny, 80. Highs over the weekend, as I said, mid-70s with sunshine. Overnight lows, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Apple Tree Superstore.
Hurry in now to Apple Tree Superstore for deals on the full lineup of 2024 Hondas, including the CR-V, the HR-V, and Civic. Apple Tree Superstore is committed to offering you professional service and a great experience. Shop online at appletreesuperstore.com and in person, I-26 and Airport Road, Asheville.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
Less is more? No, more is more. That's why Taco Bell's new $7 Luxe Cravings box is stacked with all your cheesy, crunchy favorites. Think a beefy 5-layer burrito, a double-stacked taco, a Chalupa Supreme, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a drink for just $7. Live Luxe for less at Taco Bell and sign up for rewards to earn free food. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Drinks exclude freezes. Tax extra. Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Points earned on qualifying purchases.
Don't miss our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One.
Las Vegas, and you're having a good time.
Friday and Saturday, September 20th and 21st. Streaming live only on Hulu.
iHeartRadio, let's go!
Get tickets now at AXS.com.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.